everyone, Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. So, today we'll be looking at the demo of an indie Otome game called Saintess of the Golden Bow, which is currently on Kickstarter, and if you want to check that out, please look at the link in the description. So yeah, I've been told this is about 4 hours long, depending on reading speed, so hopefully we can get it done within R3, or slightly over R3. It's also partially voiced, so that should be fun. Hello Shama, hello Drag. How are you doing? I'm doing okay, aside from being a little tired, but yeah, other than that, I'm good, and I'm looking forward to getting into this. So shall we go? English or Japanese voice? English! It says, other than the first 2 scenes, the game is partially voiced during CGs only. So I'll have to pick up the voicing myself for some of this.
Just my luck. Why does it have to be pouring now? Oh, I want to go home. I'll be soaked by the time I reach the subway.
I run down the streets, holding my bag over my head in a futile attempt to block the rain. I do my best to stay underneath the shop awnings. The cars speeding down the street kick up puddles that shower me in rainwater. I'm ill prepared for such weather. I didn't even take a hoodie with me, let alone an umbrella. The damp cold seeps into my body, making me shiver.
This day sucks.
My boss yelled at me again, and I had to cover my sick co-worker on top of doing my own tasks.
An office job sucks.
Mood. I recently graduated from college and got this boring job where all I do is call people to sell them beauty products.
Adult life sucks.
That's also a mood. It hadn't taken me long to tire of the monotony of adult life.
I just want to curl up under a blanket and read web novels.
Speaking of which, I got a notification on the web novel app that my favourite book was updated.
Being the heroine of a fantasy romance novel would be such an amazing life. Fighting to save a kingdom from impending doom, wielding magical powers, and falling in love with a hottie.
I should take a look at the app. I pull out my phone and unlock it. I open the app, looking at all the updates.
I've got so much to read on the subway.
Looking forward to my next story, I run through the crosswalk.
What?
By the time I look up to see the light was actually red, not green, it's too late. I'm in the middle of the crosswalk with a truck driving straight at me. Should I take a step back or run forward? Quick! Think, Celine! I take a step back. Which was clearly the wrong answer. It hurts. Pain, it's excruciating. My whole body hurts so much. Until I suddenly stop feeling anything anymore. The absence of pain brings me relief. I let my life go. The next thing I know, I'm floating. In a cotton-like substance? I feel comforted, safe even. Have I really died? Am I in heaven now? Oh, I wanted to read the last chapter of my favourite author's new web novel. Now I'll never get to find out what happens to the heroine in the end. A chuckle escapes me, a loud sound in this quiet place. I'm pathetic, aren't I? I died, and now I'm just thinking of my hobbies, and not my parents, or my friends. Not that I had a great relationship with anybody anyway. I was quite a loner. Why is it always a truck? Tropes! What is that sound? In the emptiness, I can hear someone singing. An angelic voice. It's calling to me.
You must fight on.
I must? But I'm dead. I don't have to do anything. Suddenly I feel a pull. My soul gets grabbed and yanked towards a golden whirlpool. I scream, but no sound comes out of my mouth. I close my eyes, the shifting reality around me making me feel dizzy. When my senses return to me, the first thing I notice is the fresh scent of a forest. I open my eyes and look around. I'm in the middle of the woods. Lush canopies of trees above me sway gently in the light breeze. There's something heavy in my hand, and when I look down, I see I'm holding a simple hunting bow. My feet, clad in riding boots, sink into the damp green moss of the forest floor. I'm out hunting, I realize. Wait, how is this possible? I just died and... It's been ages since I handled a bow. The last time I practiced archery was in middle school, back when my parents could still afford to spoil me. I also hadn't put on such high boots today for work, or these fancy pants, or this jacket. The outfit looks almost like it belongs in a Korean webcomic.
Who am I?
Celeste! Where are you, Celeste?
Somehow, I suddenly realize I'm supposed to be hiding. Hiding from what, or whom, I don't understand. I only know I must seek cover. The urge to disappear from sight is so strong that I don't even question it. I find a thicket of bushes and dive into them, not caring that my outfit will get dirty and torn. From my hiding spot, I observe the situation, holding my breath. A handsome man with red hair tied back in a ponytail rushes towards me. He's wearing some sort of fantasy armor and has two thin swords on his hips. I recognize this person. This man is my knight, Levi Perinth. Wait, I don't have a knight? I'm Celine. I'm a 21-year-old simple office worker fresh out of college with a job in sales. Is that really the whole truth, though? Levi turns left and right, searching for me.
Celeste? Please, come out!
Failing to discover me, he runs off. I recognize this guy's looks from somewhere. And the name Celeste is familiar too. No, I couldn't have. Did I get reincarnated? Here? Out of all the books or games that could have been the setting for my reincarnation, why did I have to end up in the BL tragic fantasy web novel? Why this one? Saint of the Golden Bow is the work's name. It was recently adapted as a webcomic. That's how popular it has become. The book used to be one of my favorites. But the world of this story is not a nice place to live. There's a war going on with a demon queen. And Celeste? Why did I have to be reincarnated as her? What I just witnessed was the opening scene of the book. Before Levi is chosen to become the titular saint, he goes out hunting with his unrequited love, the lady he's serving. He's supposed to protect Celeste, but he loses sight of her at some point and... An ungodly sound makes the hairs on my skin stand up. The creature that made the sound appears to my right. It's the ugliest thing I've ever seen. An abomination. A demon. The imp's leathery wings flap in the air, and the creature flies toward me. It spotted me. This is the moment when Celeste Takira dies a miserable death to become part of Levi's tragic backstory. But I just died from being hit by a truck. I don't want to die again. Especially not in a scripted event where I'm supposed to just fade away so I can serve as part of someone else's tragedy. Not doing anything to save myself is not like me at all. The imp is still far enough away for me to attempt to save my life. I have to act quickly. The monstrosity is coming closer and closer. My hands are sweaty, my arms are shaking.
I refuse to give up.
Shoot it or call for help? I mean, we've got a bow, we might as well use it, right? In my hands, I hold the key to my salvation. I pull out an arrow, draw back, and aim at the imp that's flying straight at me. I take a breath and release it, remembering what I was taught in middle school about archery. When I'm sure of my shot and know I can't delay any longer, I send the arrow flying. The arrow hits the demon straight in its ugly little head. With a final frightening sound, the monstrosity falls to the ground. I breathe heavily, collapsing to my knees.
I did it!
I thump my pulled up fist against the ground, feeling the damp moss beneath my fingers. I breathe deeply again, taking in the smells of the gorgeous forest. They calm me down.
I'm alive.
Tears roll down my cheeks. I was terrified, but I survived.
Celeste!
Levi comes running towards me. When he sees the imp dead a few steps away from me and the bow still grasped in my hands, a gasp of surprise escapes his lips.
Celeste! What happened? Did you kill this demon by yourself?
I nod, for a moment entertaining the thought that I'm indeed Celeste, not Celine. I open my mouth to explain the situation, but my voice sounds raw and shaky.
I killed the demon.
I finally manage to whisper. Levi walks up to me and kneels down before me.
My lady, can you walk?
I give his question some thought, but I feel so weak. I wipe my tears away.
I don't think so.
I'll carry you.
No, there's no need for...
Levi takes me in his arms bridal style. The bow slips from between my fingers. Our close proximity is so embarrassing I want to hide my face, but I can only do so against his chest, an option which is less than ideal.
My bow.
Don't worry about the weapon. I will return for your bow later. Right now, it's of utmost importance that I carry you back to the safety of the mansion.
But it's...
I still protest. Levi gives me a glare.
No buts. Let me do my job, for once.
I let out a long sigh and stop resisting. Levi walks towards where we left our horses. Or so my memory of Celeste recalls. So, I really am Celeste now? Part of the world of the Saint of the Golden Bow, even though I was supposed to die. So, what will my survival mean for the story now? Aw, she's cute. Oh, washed up, my lady. After an awkward bath where I had to let my maid Linda wash me, I'm finally dressed in a nightgown and allowed to rest. My body feels weak. The shock of dying, reincarnating, and then almost dying again, finally taking a toll on me. A loud yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth. I'm going to lie down. Is there anything else you need from me? I forgot I'm supposed to formally dismiss Linda whenever I want to be alone. She's Celeste's servant, after all. I'm good for now. I'll call you later if I need anything. All right, my lady. Linda curtsies before me, and then she exits the room. I sink into the softness of the mattress, taking a good look around the room. This place has an undeniably expensive, polished, fancy look. There is also a teddy bear as big as a person there. Huge teddy bear. So lots of books. Somebody has tried very hard to make the atmosphere more feminine, and I know it wasn't Celeste. The Celeste the book mentions is quite the tomboy, caring little for girly things like dolls and decorations. She doesn't have good social skills, she lacks proper knowledge of etiquette, and she dances like an elephant. Instead, she's great at archery, hunting, and riding horses. However, this society deems all of those activities inappropriate for a lady, and thus she doesn't have many friends. It sounds so much like me in my past life. The only two people who really like Celeste are Levi, who, for some reason that isn't really explained in the book, adores his lady, and... Celeste, are you alright? Celeste's twin sister, Eurydice. The book also briefly mentions Eurydice as part of Levi's backstory, simply describing her as the more ladylike twin who loves pink and romance novels. I feel Celeste's emotions for Eurydice in my heart, though. Celeste really cherishes her sister. Celeste? Eurydice notices I'm staring at her with a faint smile on my face. I'm alright. Thanks for worrying about me. She rushes over to my bed, fixing the pillow under my head and helping me sit up. Well, of course I'm worried about you. You're my beloved sister. What would I do if I lost you? I'm fine. I've been through worse, or Levi was with me. How am I to know I've been through worse? Levi was with me. Levi was with me. Nothing bad could have happened to me under his protection. You think I don't know how you always run off from Levi during your hunts? Making excuses that you have to be alone because he's stomping too loud, scaring your prey off? Does the demo let you go onto a route? No, I believe this is common route only. But I think all of the common route? Busted. I know that is exactly what Celeste has always done. I take a glance at Celeste's memories, wondering if she ever realized Levi was in love with her, and if running off was her way of trying to avoid the awkwardness of his puppy-like adoration. I feel a touch of awkwardness, unsure of how to deal with the way Levi has always viewed her. This situation wasn't comfortable for Celeste at all. I push her feelings aside to focus on my conversation with Eurydice. You got me. Did you split from Levi this time too, sister? I did. Figures. Eurydice lets out an annoyed sigh. I give her a wide smile, enjoying our conversation despite her chastising me. I really like having a friend whom I can talk to freely. I really would like to know what happened today, though. Levy babbled something about a demon? I'd like to know more too, for the matter. Father walks into the room without knocking or otherwise warning us of his presence. He has a stern look on his face, but that's just his usual expression. The joy I felt at talking to Eurydice momentarily evaporates. New emotions from Celeste surface in my heart. Her father has always made her feel lesser, inadequate. I review her memories of him and curse inwardly. To say her father favours Eurydice wouldn't at all capture the severe inequality of the situation. During some of their past interactions, he has been outright abusive, belittling Celeste and calling her names. I stiffen my spine, sitting up straight. I took so much shit as Celine, and I'm not going to do it again as Celeste. What happened today that left you so dishevelled? I look down at myself. The only blemish in my appearance is a scratch on my knee from when I hid in the bushes. The mark is so small I didn't even notice it while bathing. Otherwise, I'm wearing a fresh nightgown and all cleaned up. There's nothing dishevelled about me. I give Father a defiant look. As you can see, I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Father huffs. You and your sister's 18th birthday is in 3 days. We're leaving for the capital the day after tomorrow. If you're not healed up and in top form by then, I'll be up and running by tomorrow. My body feels tired and heavy, but it's nothing a bit of sleep can't fix. I see Eurydice scoot slightly to the left, as if taking a step away from Father's negative energy. You'd better be. I don't want you to ruin the golden bow ceremony for your sister. You're forbidden to leave the mansion for the next 3 days. I open my mouth to tell him off, but my eyes land on Eurydice. She shakes her head slightly. To honour her wishes, I decide not to agitate Father any further. All right. I nod. I don't feel like going hunting or horseback riding anyway. Someone would quickly notice I'm not as good at those activities as Celeste should be. I'm still not sure how much of her skills I can access for myself. Levy set me in front of himself on his horse to return us to the mansion earlier, so I have no idea if I actually know how to ride a horse myself. I only rode a horse once or twice as Celine when I was a kid. Not nearly enough to match Celeste's experience. Now tell me what happened. I killed a demon. Both Father and Eurydice let out gasps of surprise. You what? Levy said you two had an encounter with a demon, but I assumed he was the one to kill it. I shake my head and smile. I shot an imp with my bow. What was such a monstrosity doing in the middle of Lokari Empire lands? We're far from the warfront. The imp was conveniently there to kill Celeste for Levy's tragic backstory. I want to tell the truth, but of course I won't. Father and Eurydice would take me for a madwoman if I babbled to them about being characters from a novel. I don't know, but the monster attacked me, so I killed it. I shrug like my actions were nothing out of the ordinary. After all, in the face of danger, it's kill or be killed. Yep. Convenient backstory reasons, Drac. Which I guess was also why there was only one. Father sits down on the chair next to the entrance of my room and hides his face in his hands. I knew my daughter wasn't much of a noble lady, but this? He mumbles loudly for both Eurydice and I to hear him. My sister and I share a smile. Where was your knight when the demon attacked you? I should choose my words carefully. I don't want Levy to take the blame for my actions. I ran off on him again. I wanted to hunt on my own. Of course. He lets out a long sigh, like I'm burdening him more than he can bear. My body takes this moment to remind me how tired I am. A big yawn escapes my lips. I cover my mouth with my hand. Rest. Father gets up and gestures for Eurydice to leave. Eurydice nods and walks behind him out of the room. She turns back to me when she's in my doorway and gives me a warm smile. Get some rest. I'll be back later. I return her smile and sink more deeply into the bed, making myself comfortable. It doesn't take me long to fall into dreamless slumber. When I wake up again, the rays of morning sun pour into my room. I get out of the bed and stretch to make sure my body's working properly. I feel refreshed after my long sleep. No more weakness in my limbs. Everything's in order again. I walk to the desk and sit down. I take a fresh piece of paper. I hesitate when I realise there's only a quill for writing, but I won't be stopped. I produce a few scratchy letters. My handwriting looks horrible. It seems I can't directly access Celeste's skills after all. That's quite inconvenient. I can manage to write with a quill, but not very well, and only in English, of course. I have to write down everything I know about the web novel Saint of the Golden Bow, so I can organise my knowledge of the world and line it up with Celeste's memories. Scratchy handwriting or not, I need to sort out all my assets. Let's start with the basics. Saint of the Golden Bow is a romantic tragedy fantasy web novel by the Korean web novelist Daniel Kim. I read an English translation on one of my favourite web novel and comic apps. The story was supposed to be turned into a webcomic and had promo art, which is why I was able to recognise Levy immediately. His design and the artwork even had him in the same outfit he was wearing on the day of the demon attack. Maybe I should also write down... what a web novel is. I'm not sure we need that information. What a webcomic is, what BL is. I don't think we need that information on this piece of paper, right? Those things aren't going to help us. But I do kind of wonder if this game is going to explain these things, if I click on them, right? Let's find out. What a web novel is? I scratched down web novel in big letters. Since the beginning of the 21st century, web novels have been immensely popular in South Korea. A web novel is a novel first published on the internet. Readers unlock chapters and interact with what they're reading by posting comments. Web novels tend to be very long in order to maximize engagement. Saint of the Golden Bow was an exception. It wasn't that long of a book, but it still got over 100 chapters. It was translated into English and published on one of my favourite web novel and comic apps. I was grateful for the chance to read it in English, as I don't know Korean. Yeah, this game is going to explain these things. That's great. You know what? We're going to go through all of them. Because I know all of these things, but I don't necessarily know if you guys know all of these things. What a webcomic is? I pin down webcomic in big letters on my sheet of paper. Webcomics are often adaptations of web novels. Each episode is published on a reading app as a long vertical strip. Some even feature music composed specifically for the chapters, but those are rare. Unlike other Asian comics like manga, webcomics are in colour. They're published digitally too, though sometimes they also end up being printed as books. There's a very popular genre of webcomics right now called Otome Isekai. In those stories, a girl from Earth dies and is reincarnated as a character in a visual novel or a web novel. Yeah, I've been reading a lot of those myself. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? But as a long sigh. I've been isekai'd, haven't I? Not as a villainess, though, a bad character, like in most of those stories. Instead, I'm what's referred to as an extra, an insignificant character. Maybe that's for the best. After all, being a minor character means I couldn't have messed up the story too much by avoiding my planned death in the plot. Given that your planned death was part of someone else's tragic backstory, I think you have monumentally shifted this story, girl. You think you've watched more isekai anime than read manga? I've probably read more of them now. But that's mostly because I'm more into specifically Otome Isekai now. And that gets slightly less anime. Only time will tell. What BL is? I scribble BL on the paper. Boys' love is a genre of Asian media that centers around relationships between two men, but is geared towards the female audience. It's romantic and simply wonderful to watch two men fall in love with each other. I'm really such a simp for a good BL romance. Nothing else, there we go. Nothing else. I've got the basics. That's enough. I get up for a moment and wander over to the mirror. I touch a hand to the glass. The design of Celeste wasn't included in the promo art. I take in my new features, purple hair and pink eyes, a slender figure. You wonder if someone's going to come across the piece of paper and we'll have to explain it. Well, I'm going to hope that they can't read it. I'm going to hope that this world has a different language. Even then, we'd still have to explain it, right? There's no denying it. I'm really not Celine anymore. The understanding that I have reincarnated into the novel finally settles in my mind. I feel calm. Calmer than I ever thought I would be if something out of a novel suddenly changed the course of my life. There's no fighting the reality, is there? As strange as this situation is, I'm Celeste, and I have her memories, but somehow I'm Celine as well, equipped with knowledge of this world that Celeste never had. I walk back to the desk and sit down to continue organising my thoughts. Maybe after I process everything, I'll break down and cry about my fate. Right now, however, I don't feel like moping around. Instead, I want to fight for a better fate. Back to Saint of the Golden Bow. The book starts with Celeste's death event. Levi was in love with his lady for years, but the actual love interest of the story is Prince Noah. Celeste has to die at the beginning of the book to make Levi feel at his lowest when the Golden Bow chooses him as the saint. Why didn't Celeste save herself if she was said to be so great at archery? It was possible for me to use my mediocre skills to defeat the demon. Must be book logic. She had to die for the story of in the Saint of the Golden Bow to proceed the way it did. Soon after Celeste's death, Levi's quest to save the Lokari Empire from the Demon Queen begins. However, he doesn't go alone. Noah, as well as High Priest Elijah, the second love interest, both accompany him on the journey. Noah and Levi fall in love. Elijah falls in love with Levi too, but Levi chooses Noah. When the final confrontation with the Demon Queen happens, the love Noah and Levi share is an important component of defeating the fiend. Through their love, the magic of the weapon becomes stronger. However, the story is a tragic one. Even though Levi defeats the Demon Queen, he perishes in the process. Noah and Elijah live on, and peace returns to the Lokari Empire. I remember crying at the end of the book and cursing the author for writing such a beautiful yet heart-wrenching tale. I've reread the novel twice. Saint of the Golden Bow is really one of my favourite stories. I still don't appreciate being reincarnated into this world, though. Especially not as Celeste, whose only purpose in the story is to add angst to Levi's life. I didn't die when I was supposed to, though, and now the story has continued regardless. I wonder how many things will change now because Celeste is alive. Will Levi still be able to fall in love with Noah despite the fact I'm still here? He seems pretty hung up on Celeste after all. I look into Celeste's memories to examine her feelings about Levi. I sense a mixture of emotions. Anger, awkwardness, desperation. Celeste didn't like to be on the receiving end of Levi's feelings. She badly wanted him to stop looking at her with romantic intentions. What Celeste really needed was to have a friend in him, not a lover. As a noble lady, she especially found his feelings for her inappropriate. She even tried to set him up with other people of various genders who were in his station. Levi always admitted they were attractive, whenever she asked, but he never expressed any romantic interest. Celeste was the only one for him. Levi's responses frustrated Celeste to the point she tried her best to get away from him, which ultimately led to her death. What a sad relationship. I can't quite hate Celeste for being cold to Levi now that I know her distress about his love for her, but at the same time, I do pity Levi. If Levi was this obsessed with Celeste, how had he moved on to Noah so quickly? His change of heart wasn't really explained in the novel, and I remember some people voicing their opinions on the forums about how unrealistic this plot point was. I'd always ignored those complaints because I really adored the Noah and Levi relationship. Celeste would surely have disapproved of it though, considering the boys had vastly different positions in society. But the forbidden aspect of their romance was what had made everything more exciting to me as a modern reader. Oh, I really want my ship to sail and for the boys to get together. But I don't know if that outcome is possible with Celeste still being alive. Levi was clearly at least bisexual, judging from his response to the romantic candidates Celeste had presented to him. But that fact didn't matter if he was unwilling to consider any other lovers. Maybe he would still change his mind if he met Noah. Maybe it would be a greater love, one established at first sight. If Levi and Noah don't fall in love at the end of the quest, will Levi still be able to defeat the Demon Queen? I shudder. What if I've broken this story beyond repair by avoiding my demise? What was I supposed to do though, just die? That's not like me, I'm a fighter. Maybe I can change the story even further, so that Levi can still survive the final encounter. I have no idea how to make this plan work, but maybe opportunities to influence the world further will present themselves to me. After all, though the thought is chilling, what's happening here isn't just a web novel story. Saint of the Golden Bow is my new reality. On the day of Celeste and Eurydice's 18th birthday, Father takes us to the capital to attend the Golden Bow ceremony. You wonder what would have happened if I'd chosen the other option and whether I'd have actually died, huh, Drag? Yeah, good question, I guess. I mean, some choices in visual novels aren't a branching choice. They're more of a point choice. So, you know. Levi had his 18th birthday a few days ago as well. Since he was of lower standing than the Count's family, Father got the approval of the church for Levi to attend our ceremony together with us, instead of his own a few days earlier. "Your knight has to guard you at all times," Father had said to Celeste before I reincarnated into her body. After the encounter with the imp, he's become even more convinced that Levi shouldn't leave my side. Not that Levi is complaining about having to sit close to me, for obvious reasons. Now, Eurydice, Levi and I stand in the middle of the chapel in the royal palace in Solus, Lucari Empire's capital. Behind us are the many other people who will be tested. Before us, the High Priest Elijah Soren takes a spot behind the titular golden bow, the fabled artifact that will choose the saint one day. I know that day will be today, since Levi is the one who will be chosen. I eye the bow with suspicion. Light reflects off its gold-covered surface. The design is pretty and elaborate. I like the wings. I do like wing designs on bows. Just pretty. Looks like a pain in the ass to use as a weapon. Too ornamental for my taste.
We are all gathered here today to see if the golden bow, the weapon given to us by our Lord to help us one day defeat the vile demon queen, will finally choose its saint. On this beautiful morning, when the sun's rays fall through the windows of our chapel, let us give our gratitude to the Lord. He has given us means to end the war that has been raging for so many decades.
I've never been particularly religious, even in my past life. I especially don't believe in a fantasy god, but...
Let us give our gratitude.
Let us give our gratitude.
When Eurydice and Levi bow their heads and say the words of a prayer, along with all the other people in the hall, I mumble the words as well.
Let us give our gratitude.
I don't want to draw suspicion to myself after all.
20 years ago, the blessed blacksmith was bestowed with the Lord's inspiration and crafted the golden bow. He worked tirelessly day and night until finally he completed the artifact. Ever since then, the people of the Lokari Empire have sought to be tested on the day of their 18th birthday by the golden bow. The artifact will choose its wielder. That person will become the saint and be tasked with defeating the Demon Queen, who has terrorized our borders for 23 years.
I'm glad Elijah reminds us of the history of the bow. I've forgotten some of the details.
I will now call forth today's attendees to be tested. Each of you just needs to touch the golden bow once, and its judgment will be bestowed on you.
Elijah takes out a sheet of paper and reads the first name from the list. Eurydice de Quires, daughter of Count de Quires. Eurydice approaches the bow. She puts a hand on the artifact. Nothing happens. Of course, what else did I expect? Levi is the saint. The golden bow will only glow for him. A frown appears on the high priest's brow as he reads the next name. Celeste de Quires, daughter of Count de Quires. I take a deep breath and step onto the podium. Reminding myself I shouldn't expect anything, I put my hand on the weapon. For a moment, nothing happens, but then... the bow glows, its light getting brighter and brighter with each second. The light feels scorching hot. I close my eyes, worrying if I'll go blind if I don't. You must fight on. I hear the angelic voice again. Was the bow the one speaking to me when I reincarnated? Or was it the god of light himself? The thought that I may have been addressed by a deity is frightening. No. Gods aren't real. You're not religious, Celine. The golden bow. The burning light makes my skin feel like it's on fire, so I take my hand away from the bow. But my hand continues burning, the searing pain climbing up my arm to my chest. I scream, my head is spinning. The pain is too much for me to handle. I want it to stop. Stop! I'm on fire. I'm dying. Not again. Lady Celeste! Sister! Levi and Eurydice are calling to me, but I don't have the strength to respond. My consciousness fades, darkness taking me into its comforting embrace. I feel so groggy. I'm in the guest room of the apartment that was assigned to our family when we first arrived at the palace for the ceremony. The impersonal decor makes the place feel cold and unwelcoming. I know the room is supposed to look grand and elegant, but I don't feel at home here at all. Lady Celeste can't be the Saintess of the Golden Bow. The role is too dangerous for her. I turn my head to the left. Levi and Eurydice stand by the door. Neither of them notice I'm awake. Just imagining her going on the dangerous quest to defeat the Demon Queen makes me terrified for her life. We have to stop the Church and the Empress from declaring her to be the Saintess. Levi, it's not for us to decide who the Saintess is. Neither is it the choice of the Church or the Empress. It's the God of Light who singled out Celeste to be the savior of our empire. Yes. Is Celeste's father proud of her now? That's a good question. This must be some kind of mistake. Levi, you're committing blasphemy here. You can't go against God's wishes. But Lady Celeste is... Look, I know you're worried for my sister, but please mind your words. If someone other than me hears your opinion about God's choice, you may get in trouble. So, I really am the Saintess of the Golden Bow? I speak up, not believing my own words. Levi and Eurydice turn to me. Eurydice runs up to the bed and takes my hand in hers. Celeste, you're awake! How are you feeling? Fine, I think. Just a bit tired. You really scared us in the chapel. You screamed like someone was tearing you apart. And the light of the bow entering my body felt like it was burning me. That sounds horrible. Tears well up in Eurydice's eyes. I squeeze her hand, trying to comfort her. I glance behind her to where Levi still stands by the door. He has a defeated look on his face. When he notices me watching him, he finally approaches the bed, standing behind Eurydice. I can't be the Saintess! It was supposed to... I cut myself off when I realize I almost just said that Levi was supposed to be chosen as the saint. Don't tell them what happens in the book. They don't even know they live in a fictional world. For some inexplicable reason, the Golden Bow, or the God of Light himself, has chosen me instead as the savior of the Lokari Empire. Why me? I ponder out loud. I'm so confused. I don't want to be the Saintess. Why did the story suddenly change so much? I only did my best to survive. Did the fact I wasn't slain by the demon really create such a severe butterfly effect? Or had I already been chosen at the moment of my reincarnation? I remember the angelic voice of the bow sounding just like the voice I heard after dying in the accident as Celine. I'm sure you'll do fine. You're excellent at archery. Yes, definitely excellent at archery. Oh boy. Not as excellent as the real Celeste. Eurydice smiles through her tears, trying to reassure me. I'm not as confident about my fighting skills as Eurydice is. Celeste may have been good at the bow, but I can't access her full abilities. Judging by my handwriting, I can only manage the bare minimum of what she could do. I'm not proficient in any of her skills. I only know how to use the bow somewhat from my experience as Celine in middle school. The Golden Bow provide aim assist? Good question. Good question. I mean, hopefully as a magical artifact it will be useful, right? Oh, this whole situation is so depressing. No, I mustn't lose heart. Just stay strong and face my fate head on. What's going to happen to me now? The Empress has summoned you for an audience. 3 hours from now. What does the Empress want with me? Eurydice wipes her tears away. She didn't say, but we think she intends to personally congratulate you on your new role. Alright. I suppose I should start getting ready then. First, High Priest Elijah requested to check in on you as soon as he woke up. Check on me? With his light magic. He wants to see if your body and mind are all right after being touched by God's grace. I'm feeling okay, but I suppose I shouldn't turn away a member of the church. Not complying with their wishes might be dangerous now I'm somewhat part of their organization. Reality is so overwhelming that I would really prefer to be alone now. But there's no time for me to mull over what has happened. The chance to break down will come later, after everyone goes to sleep. Okay, you can tell the High Priest I will see him. I'll go bring him here. Levi turns around and walks out of the room in long strides. Eurydice gives me a comforting smile. Everything's going to be okay. I hope so, too. Silence falls between us, but it's a cozy, warm kind of quiet. I get the feeling that no matter what happens, Eurydice will support me. I envy Celeste for having such a great sister and friend. I should use this opportunity to ask Eurydice some questions about my situation. I'll just have to be careful about how I broach the topics. I don't want to reveal my jumbled knowledge about the world. Ooh, questions. What exactly does it mean to have the role of Saintess? The Saintess is the fourth most important person in the Lokari Empire, after the Empress, her Emperor Consort, and the Crown Prince. You're on par with the head of the church, the High Priest. Am I part of the church now? You're not a priestess, if that's what you're asking. You're still a noble, so you can marry someone of noble standing if you'd like. You're not sworn like the clergy to only marry within the church. Ah, I remember this subplot regarding Elijah. He was unable to be with Levi because Elijah was only allowed to marry someone from the priesthood. Forbidden love, a popular trope. It was an unusual plot point for a web novel to explore, a religious figure falling in love. Still, people had admired the author for bringing something different to the table, even though the main ship had remained Noah and Levi. Marriage, that feels so far away. We're 18 now, so father will probably help us find suitable suitors soon. I would like to marry for love if at all possible. Love. Love was one of the components needed to defeat the Demon Queen. Levi and Noah's love. Would I have to fall in love with someone now I was the Saintess? I hope I'll have enough time if that's really necessary. I'm not someone who falls in love easily. Wait, does that mean I have to pursue one of the guys? Do you have someone in mind for marriage? Oh, what? Maybe? You can tell me. I'm not going to tell anybody. Maybe another time. I'm not ready to admit it myself. I chuckle. Eurydice is adorable when she's shy. Ah yes, this is another one where we get to have all of the info. How long has the Empire waited for the Saintess? As the High Priest said, the Golden Bow was created by the Blessed Blacksmith 20 years ago, before we were even born. They say he worked tirelessly day and night for 2 weeks to create the artifact. The design was bestowed upon him by the God of Light himself. The Blessed Blacksmith said God told him in a dream that the Golden Bow will choose its saint when the time is right. Only the saint can wield the weapon and harness its power. I wonder if it shoots light. Or real arrows. Or both. What Eurydice tells me aligns with the backstory I already know from the novel, but it's good to be reminded about the details. I listen intently. What kind of power does the Golden Bow have? Light-aligned magic, the kind that the priests wield. It's said that only an arrow shot from the artifact will be able to kill the Demon Queen. So it does shoot light magic. The usual fantasy world MacGuffin then. For plot reasons, other weapons can't harm the ultimate boss. Right, makes sense. It doesn't, but Eurydice doesn't seem to be aware of how ridiculous it is that only one weapon, wielded by one special person, can kill the enemy that the Empire's been fighting against for decades. After the Golden Bow was created, The whole Lokari Empire and our allied kingdom of Durendal was tested to see if the saint was among them. But the saviour wasn't found. Later, it was decided that every person would get tested on their 18th birthday, as suggested by the Blessed Blacksmith. Which I guess, does help. It does help that, you don't get chosen as the Saintess when you're, like, 2. 20 years passed, but the saint still wasn't found. Until now. It feels so random that I was actually chosen as the Saintess. But it's my reality now. This world seems to operate on book logic anyway. What do we know about the Demon Queen? The people who have seen her say she looks like a beautiful woman, except she also has horns, a tail, and a third eye on her forehead. But she's far from human. She's cruel and dangerous. She kills humans without mercy. She commands an army of demons, vile monstrosities. You saw one. Was it as ugly as they say? The imp wasn't pretty, that's for sure. The war has been going on for 23 years now. Over that time, 1/3 of Lokari Empire's lands to the east have been ravaged by war and infiltrated by the demons. They leave only ruins behind when they take over a town. Their fire is said to be ever burning. You'll have to travel east to defeat the Demon Queen. She's taken up residence in the Cloumond Castle. It used to be the seat of Duke Cloumond and his family, but they had to abandon their homeland to the demons 10 years ago. That news doesn't make me want to go to the border at all. It'll be like walking straight into the maws of the enemy. I fear you won't have a choice in the matter. The Empress decreed long ago that once the saint or saintess was found, they would immediately embark on the quest to defeat the Demon Queen with a party of the most capable fighters. With a party of the most capable fighters, who are then going to be completely useless in the final battle, huh? Well, I guess their job is to get the saint to the final battle, right? The quest, huh? Sounds like a story from a role-playing game. The Mantle of the Saints, yes, that's a relevant thing. That's true. Not that I expect anything else from this book world. Livy went on this quest as the saint, after all. I just hope you won't have to leave too soon. I think I'll need some time to learn to wield the golden bow, and to accept the whole situation. I'm sure the Empress will understand. Those are all the questions I have, for now at least. Thanks for helping me sort through everything, sister. Eurydice gives me a bright smile. And that's what I'm here for. Bring Eurydice with us, yes. Does it have to be romantic love? Can we defeat the Demon Queen with the power of sisterly love instead? Hello, Nick. How you doing? To catch you up to speed, we have been reincarnated into a novel. And chosen... reincarnated into a novel, survived our death that was part of the plot, and have now been chosen as the Saintess. One thing's certain. The people of the Lokari Empire have been waiting for the Saintess for ages. A lot of faith will be put in your abilities. A lot will be expected of you. How am I? My throat is starting to be unhappy with me. But other than that, I'm being a bit tired. I'm good. Yes, you're right. I forgot to mention Truck-kun. We did in fact get isekai'd by Truck. I don't envy you. If I could, I would share this burden with you. Thank you. I'm really moved by Eurydice's dedication to me. There's a knock on the door, then Levi's voice can be heard from the other side. High Priest Elijah and Count Dakiras have arrived. They can enter. Elijah comes into the room, followed by Father. Levi closes the door behind them, remaining in the living room of our apartment to guard the entrance. The High Priest bears a friendly smile. Father, on the other hand, wears his usual scowl on his face. Well, that answers your question, Drag. Oh, congratulations on your Malleus. Congratulations. I can only hope I have a similar amount of luck trying to bring Ruggy home on Friday. He seems like he wants to say something. I give him an inquiring look, which is met with a glare. I don't know if I should laugh or cry at the fact that his disposition towards Celeste hasn't changed, even in the middle of such a life-changing situation. What does Celeste have to do for her father to show her affection? If I had any hopes he would be proud of me now I'd suddenly advanced to a great position in the hierarchy of the Empire, it evaporates now. I decide not to say anything to Father while Elijah is around. I don't want him to witness a fight between us, and I doubt I can hold my tongue right now. May I sit beside you? Sure. Elijah approaches and sits beside me on the bed. I need to touch you to make sure you're healthy. Is that all right? Is that how light magic works? As someone who reincarnated here from Earth, I have little knowledge about magic. I don't remember a scene like this one with the High Priest in the book. Come to think of it, Levi didn't faint after touching the golden bow. He must have a much stronger resistance to pain than I do. Celeste doesn't know much about magic either. She has no magical powers of her own, after all. No one in the Dakiras family does. If Elijah says he has to touch her for his magic to work, though, I doubt he's lying. I look at him. He stares back at me with a patient smile. The High Priest is really attractive. I never thought I would find a guy with pink hair dashing. He must have the longest lashes I've ever seen on a man. I blush, realizing I'm checking Elijah out. He's a priest, for heaven's sake! Eurydice just reminded me that he can only marry within the clergy. He's off limits. Besides, he only wants to touch me to make sure I'm okay. Stupid hormones. I clear my throat, though I can do nothing to stop my cheeks from burning. All right, go ahead. Elijah surprises me by leaning his forehead against mine. That is not the touching that I was expecting here. Before I can protest, an aura of white surrounds his body. He's really working his magic on me. I close my eyes and focus on how his magic makes me feel. His touch is pleasant and warm. I become strangely comforted. Before I realize what I'm doing, I lean in closer to him. Elijah's chuckle makes me snap out of the comforting embrace of his magic.
Light magic does have a good feel, doesn't it?
There's a twinkle in his eye and a confident smirk on his face. Is he flirting with me? Embarrassed, I pull away. Yep. I was expecting a touch on the hand or something. But no, apparently we're going for forehead touching. Lady Celeste is healthy. I can also confirm the golden bow's magic has entered her body. She's the Saintess. Father lets out a heavy sigh. I hope you won't embarrass me. I glare at him, pursing my lips. I want to call him out on his unkind behaviour, but I stop myself. I turn back to Elijah instead. Thank you for the checkup. You're welcome. Only 2 hours remain now until Celeste has to attend the audience with the Empress. Yes, we should go and let Sister prepare for seeing the Empress. I want to keep talking with Elijah. If anyone can explain to me more about the Golden Bow's magic, it's him. Unfortunately, now it's not the right time. Father rings the bell. A moment later, Linda appears in the doorway. Make Celeste presentable for meeting the Empress and Emperor Consort. Yes, my lord. Everyone says their goodbyes to me, and they leave me alone with my maid. I follow a step behind Father. We walk through the corridors of the palace to the throne room, where the Empress and Emperor Consort are waiting for us. As I watch Father's back, I feel Celeste's resentment for him resurface. No, resentment isn't a strong enough term to describe her feelings. Celeste hates her father. Not without reason either. What he's done to her over the years is something I can only describe as pure abuse. He's belittled her constantly, both in public and in private. His favourite title for her is his no-good daughter. He's always made her feel like she's less than Eurydice, unworthy of his praise. The only time he ever pulls his attention away from Eurydice is when Celeste misbehaves. Celeste's mother died when the two girls were young. Celeste has no memory of her and no one to shield her from her father's wrath. Maybe that situation is why Celeste was always out hunting or horseback riding, taking herself far away from father and her duties as a noble lady. And Levi? He has watched Celeste suffer at father's hand. I have a memory of him standing up for his love and father having him flogged for it. After that event, Celeste forbade her knight to ever act in her defence again in front of her father. Levi protested, but Celeste insisted, using her authority as his noble lady to make him agree. In the years that followed, they both suffered. Celeste from her father's abuse, and Levi watching his love in pain. How could I not hate Celeste's father for his disgusting behaviour? A pang of loneliness shoots through my heart. My parents never abused me, but I wasn't from a picture-perfect family either. There was a lot of fighting between Mum and Dad before they finally divorced. I was 14 when they parted ways, and I had a lot of trouble accepting that the situation wasn't my fault. I tried to help them fix their broken relationship before the divorce, but they didn't believe their marriage was worth saving. Eventually, everything fell apart, regardless of my efforts. Ever since then, I've had trouble trusting anybody enough to fall in love. I had a boyfriend in high school, but he broke up with me because I was too cold and emotionless towards him. His exact words. At the time, I just didn't know how to show love, or if I should even be open about my deep feelings for him at that early stage of our relationship. Both Celeste and Celine have their own baggage. Still, I was finding it very hard not to talk back to Father whenever he was rude to me. Celeste had long since given up on their relationship and simply chose to ignore his outbursts, but letting someone belittle me wasn't my style. I realize Father has stopped walking when I almost bump into him, stopping just in time to avoid the collision. High Priest Elijah. Hello again, Saintess, Count de Kires. Elijah nods at us with a soft smile. He looks me up and down. I fidget, uncomfortable with the attention. I'm not sure if he's checking me out, or if he's just interested in the fancy dress Linda helped me change into. It is a beautiful dress, after all. Then his eyes wander to Levy, and he looks at him with the same appreciation. Huh. Well, yeah, I guess that shouldn't surprise me. I know for sure Elijah is into men. After all, he was interested in Levy in the book. I decided to join you during the audience. We're happy to have you. Are you ready to enter? I'm not, but then again I'm not sure if I ever will be. Father nods in response to Elijah's words before I can protest. Let's enter. The guards in front of the throne room entrance open the door, and Father and Elijah enter the hall. I turn to Levy. Now more than ever I need the support of someone who I know cares for me. Even though he doesn't really care for me, but the original Celeste. Levy won't be allowed to say anything during the audience, but I still want him present at my side. Come with me. You'll only be able to stay by the door, but I want you to be there for this conversation. All right. I enter the throne room as well now, Levy following behind me. The Empress is sitting on her throne, and the Emperor Consort is lounging on the smaller chair next to her. Empress Mireille is as radiant in person as she is in Celeste's memories. Wearing a golden gown, she is the son of the Locari Empire. Her husband, Emperor Consort Lucius, comes from our allied country, Durandal. He is called the Moon of the Locari Empire. Looking at him makes me remember that the Locari Empire's allied country of Durandal is a southern land, and thus its people have darker complexions. I come from the States, so finally seeing someone of colour feels familiar and comforting. It reminds me of the fact that the novel is quite diverse for a book written by a Korean web novelist. Even though there aren't too many characters of colour in Saint of the Golden Bow, the book introduces them in some important positions. Noah, the main love interest, is mixed race. When the Empress sees us approach, she gives us a bright smile. At last, the prophesied Saintess stands before me in the flesh. I smile and make my best attempt at curtsy, following Celeste's memory. The wince on Father's face tells me I failed to move properly. For some reason, I find his expression funny. I cover my mouth so that no one sees the smirk on my face. If I embarrass Father in front of the Empress, I can't say it wouldn't be enjoyable. Father and Elijah make smooth bows. Thank you for the chance to have an audience with you, Your Grace. Graced to be in your presence again, O radiant lady. Of course, how could I not gaze upon the chosen heroine with my own eyes? The Empire has been awaiting her for over 20 years. Though I'm surprised that your daughter is the one who turned out to be the Saintess, turned out to be the Saintess, Count Alaric. A nervous chuckle escapes Father's lips. She's always been good with the bow. So I've heard. Your daughter doesn't act much like a noble lady, does she? She does have a reputation for enjoying quite boyish activities. Father's face turns beet red. He's embarrassed because of me. I realize I shouldn't let myself be too happy about the situation, though. There's too much at stake. I can't ignore the fact that as the Saintess I have an important role to uphold in the Lucari Empire. As Eurydice explained to me, I'm the fourth most important person in the hierarchy now. No pressure! It seems the Empress finds me lacking as well. Having her, out of all people, displeased with me is not good. I remember Noah's plotline from the novel. The Empress sends him on the quest with Levi to defeat the Demon Queen, even though Noah is the heir to the throne. Or so he should be, since he is Empress Mireille's firstborn. However, the monarch is a very controlling person. She doesn't want to give up the power of the throne to anybody, so she hopes to continue ruling through her child once she abdicates. Due to the law of the Lucari Empire, a person can only rule for 40 years before they have to pass on the role to another. Huh? Interesting. The Empress is aging, but based on what I know from the novel, her hunger for power over the years has only grown. She wants to keep her influence over the politics of the Empire. However, Noah, her heir, isn't someone who can be easily controlled. The Empress has a secret second son, however, 10-year-old Matteo, who she's raising to be completely obedient and reliant on her own opinions. A secret son, huh? How do you manage that one? Makes me wonder how she hid her pregnancy. She only sends Noah on the mission because she hopes he will die so she can establish Matteo as her new heir. She can't pronounce someone else the crown prince until Noah is gone. Someone as ruthless as the Empress is definitely not a good enemy to have. How am I liking the game so far? It's interesting. Obviously we're getting a lot of a lore dump right now, but that's kind of par for the course. In an Isekai, right? The UI is quite pretty. And I do like the art style. And I like the fact that it's partially voiced. That's nice. Surprising, but nice. It's known that Count Dikires has two daughters. The one who's a perfect image of a noble lady, and the one who's a tomboy. I suppose the girl that stands before us, although dressed in finery, is not much of a proper noble. Silence falls in the room. Everyone looks at me, expecting me to answer. Under the sudden attention, my mouth is dry and I can't find my words. I don't know much about Celeste, but rumours precede her. They've already judged her. Me. Why did I think I would suddenly gain respect by becoming the Saintess when Celeste's questionable reputation has been spreading for years? In a sense, it's good that everyone expects Celeste to be quite lousy at etiquette. After all, I have no idea how to curtsy or properly use the utensils or dance like a graceful noble lady. I can do, like, maybe one of those, personally. I think I can curtsy. In practice, I probably wouldn't curtsy, I'd probably bow. So actually, maybe I can't do any of those things. Since Celeste's skills didn't directly transfer to me, if she really had been a perfect lady, I would suddenly have looked like an imposter. Still, I don't want the Empress to think I'm worthless as a Saintess too. If she deems me inadequate like Father does, will she try to get rid of me so the Golden Bow can choose another saint? I don't think she has a very forgiving personality, judging by how she hates her own son. You'll probably never remember the utensils order, Drag. What I know is that you sort of start on the outside and move your way in. But beyond that... Just when I gather my words to speak, the door to the throne room bursts open. So here is love interest number 3. A well-posed, tall, blonde man enters the room in a dramatic fashion, his cloak waving behind him in the sudden draft of air. He is Noah, Levy's love interest in the book. He's one of the most handsome guys I've ever seen, next to Levy and Elijah. His skin is darker than most Lokari Empire nobles, but only slightly. He inherited most of his features from the Empress. The current Emperor consort is not Noah's father, but the previous consort was also from our allied country Durendal in the south. Alright, so not only does the Empress have a secret second child, she's also on her second husband. When he spots me, a smirk appears on his face. His red eyes shine with mischief.
Knock knock! Did I miss anything?
Fashionably late as always, my son.
If I missed nothing, there was nothing to miss. This is the Saintess, right? Count Decoris' tomboy daughter.
I hold back a groan. Even Noah knows about Celeste's reputation?
Yes, that's me.
You're good at archery, are you not? Better than you are at etiquette, at the very least.
Yes, I'm quite good with the bow.
Probably not as good as Celeste was, though. I presume, judging by her renowned reputation. At least I'm still good enough to shoot arrows with decent accuracy. I just need to practice a bit more and remember everything I learned in middle school.
Quite. Then you'll be perfect for the role of the Saintess.
How can you say that? If a lacking individual takes up such a high role in the hierarchy of the Empire...
All the Saintess needs to do is shoot the golden bow and hit the Demon Queen straight in the heart. Then the war will finally be over.
Has to be in the heart, does it? Got it. Maybe that's why love is required.
Is that not what you want, Mother?
I want peace more than anything else.
That's a lie. With the army off fighting at the war front, the Empress feels more secure in her rule here in the capital. Do you question God's will, Empress? It is the Lord who has chosen Lady Celeste to be the Saintess of the Golden Bow. While Celeste may be lacking in some other areas, she's great at archery, and her reputation confirms her words. Right, Mother. So you needn't worry. Lady Dakira's will make an excellent Saintess. I wish I could share the faith these two have in me. Still, I have to maintain a confident front, so I put on my brightest smile. Please don't worry about anything, Your Grace. I'll defeat the Demon Queen and bring peace to the Empire. Empress Mireille gives me a long look. After a moment, the confident smirk that Noah inherited from her is back on her face. Excellent. Then there's nothing stopping us from proceeding with the mission to defeat the Demon Queen, is there? Noah, you will be the one leading the Saintess's quest. Noah's eyes widen. He opens his mouth, then closes it. But I... You will lead the Saintess's quest, and you will take the 20 best men from the Palace Guard, the Major's Tower, and the church to accompany you. And you will leave in a month. In a month? So soon? Shock makes my heart beat erratic. With my current archery skills, I'm nowhere near ready to defeat a powerful enemy so soon. Is there a problem? You said you'd be great at using the bow, and that's all you need to be a successful Saintess, right? The Empress has really turned the tables on me. I can't deny her words, and neither can Noah. After all, we're the ones who just made those claims to her. Yeah, apparently it's not a party of 4. We are getting 20 people. Possibly a total of 24 then. Nice of her to send us with other people. I simply thought we'd have more time to prepare. There is no more time. Not with the Demon Queen's army closing in more and more on the capital in recent years. I think you and the Saintess are ready enough. But do you question the Empress's judgment? The Emperor and Noah glare at each other. Noah doesn't respond. He finally just turns around and walks toward the door. Noah, you will prepare for the quest and depart in a month. As you wish, Your Grace. If it is not too much to ask, I want to accompany the Saintess and the Prince on their quest. Elijah's request surprises me for a moment, until I remember that he wanted to join the mission when Levi was the Saint as well. Are you sure, High Priest? You will be leaving your office behind for 2 months. Oh, is that how long you expect it to take, huh, Empress? Yes, I'm sure. I'll take Gareth with me as well. Meredith can manage running the office on her own. I'll appoint some people to help her with the paperwork. The Saintess's quest will be a historic moment in the life of the Lokari Empire. I wouldn't want to miss witnessing the Saint defeat the Demon Queen. He has strange tastes, but with Elijah's light magic, our success will be easier. I don't protest, we need all the help we can get. All right, you may go as well. Thank you, Your Grace. I will organize a ball to celebrate the finding of the Saintess tomorrow evening. Be sure to attend, all of you. We all reply we'll be there, and after some final departing words, we're dismissed. And I'm going to take the opportunity of this scene change to get myself some more water. I will be right back. And I'm back. After the audience, I ask everyone to give me some time alone. I'm too overwhelmed by the recent events. I need some time to think. I take a sheet of paper and a quill and begin to scribble down my thoughts. I survived my death event, the demon attack in the woods near the Dakira's mansion. That's why Levi is likely to continue to love Celeste and not become interested in anybody else. Now, I can't assume anything. I really should ask him what he thinks about Noah and Elijah. He saw both of them during the audience, and he saw Elijah flirting with me during the magical checkup. I'm not really the Celeste Levi loves. I have her memories and a portion of her skills, but I'm basically Celine in Celeste's body. I'm not just Celeste recollecting a past life. Instead, I, Celine, have taken over Celeste's body at a pivotal moment of her current life. Does that mean Celeste is really dead? I don't sense her presence living in my body, which is a relief, truth be told. I prefer being alone with my thoughts. The idea of her passing is sad, though, even if I'm conflicted about her treatment of Levi. I'm now the Saintess of the Golden Bow, a hero the whole Lokari Empire has been awaiting for years, yet Levi was supposed to take on that role. Levi has been training to protect Celeste all his life. He's way more skilled at archery than I am. I have a month to train myself how to use a bow properly. Not just any bow, though, the golden bow, which seems more ornamental than practical. Wielding that weapon will be a pain in the ass. What were the two components I needed to defeat the Demon Queen again? The first one is firing an arrow imbued with the Golden Bow's light magic at the Demon Queen's heart and actually hitting the target. So I'll need to practice both archery and accessing the bow's magic. As someone who comes from Earth, I have no idea how to wield magic. The very concept of magical power coursing through my body is foreign to me. I suppose training with the bow will just take time, though I have a little to spare. As for wielding its magic, that's something Elijah will know more about, given he's a light magic user. I scribbled down that I need to talk to Elijah about the golden bow and its magic. Know thy enemy, they say, and right now, my enemy, until I master it, is that bow. There's also a second component to defeating the Demon Queen. One that follows a story trope more than practical logic. Noah and Levi's love makes the magic of the golden bow stronger. How is that possible? I have no idea. Could Noah and Levi being in love even solve this problem anymore? No, it has to be the wielder of the bow that's in love for the magic to trigger properly. Right? So I'll have to break up the couple that I shipped. It's a sad situation, but my survival is on the line. Unless I go for Elijah, that is. But he can't have a relationship with anybody outside of the church. Which is another complication. First, I'd need to determine if Elijah and Noah are even interested in women. If they're not, any relationship with me would be impossible. As for me, I can't imagine falling in love with someone in 2 months. Love is such a difficult topic for me. I don't trust or fall in love easily. The whole situation with my parents' divorce made falling in love not something I can easily imagine happening to me. I'm so screwed. I'm scared. This situation isn't just a story in a book anymore, it's my reality. Levi, Elijah, Noah, Eurydice, Father, the Empress, they're all real people. They aren't acting according to script either. The plot of the book has changed. It's a real world now with unpredictable consequences. And I'm at the center of this story. And I'm at the center of this new story. Levi dies at the end of the book, despite defeating the Demon Queen, despite Noah's love for him. Will I die again too? Or will that aspect of the story change as well? No, I can't give up. I must change reality and my fate. It's not like me to mope around and feel defeated. I'm the master of my own destiny. If I have to fall in love with someone, who should it be? Levi, who blindly adores his lady? Noah, who has been burdened with leading the mission to defeat the Demon Queen? Elijah, who is a priest and can't marry someone unless they're part of the church? Or should I pick someone else entirely? At least I have to admit that all three of them are handsome men. I just hope my own baggage isn't going to drag me down too much. Will I become cold and detached if I enter a relationship with any of them, just like I did with my ex-boyfriend? It's been a while since high school, but I'm still hung up about how things turned out between us. Can someone like me even make a guy fall in love with her within a month? My heart is beating so quickly. Now that I realize what's really at stake and what I have to do, I'm terrified. Should I ask Levi what he thinks about Elijah and Noah? I don't feel close enough to ask Levi about it yet. Or yeah, it would be best to make things clear. I mean... we should probably figure it out, right? Yeah, let's make things clear. Let's figure out what's going on right now. It's best if I make things clear between us. I need to talk to Levi about Noah and Elijah. I open the door to my room and look outside. Levi is standing there, guarding the door. He looks at me with a gentle smile and gives me a small nod. Levi, could you step into my room for a moment? I want to talk to you. Of course. I take a step to the side, letting Levi enter the room. My heart is beating quickly and I clench my hand on my dress. Levi seems to notice my unease, his expression turning into one of concern. Celeste. I push my fear aside and decide to just outright ask him. Say, Levi, what do you think about Prince Noah? The Mad Prince? Yeah, that's what everyone calls him, right? He's known to always antagonize the Empress with his words and attitude, but he's never done anything that could be considered a crime against the crown. The Empress delegated part of the responsibilities for maintaining the order in the palace to Prince Noah, as per the Lokari Empire laws on succession. He needs to learn how to manage the Empire as the heir. And from what I've heard, he's doing a good job and is very dedicated to his work. So despite the fact he's not very diplomatic with his words, I think he'll make a good emperor in the future. I see. That wasn't what I was asking, though. I wanted to know what you think about Noah personally. Are you sure I'm allowed to voice my opinion on the future Emperor? I look around and gesture to the room. It's just you and me. It's just you and I here. I suppose that's right. I'm not going to tell on you. Yes, I know that. Well, I think Noah is too brash in the way he speaks. I really didn't like his attitude towards you during the audience. That's still not what I wanted to know. Do you think Noah is attractive? Many people do. He's had a few past relationships here and there, though he avoids casual flings. That still doesn't answer my question. Yeah, I think Prince Noah is attractive. And now that you hold the position of Saintess, he would make a great match for you. That's not what this conversation was about. Does Noah like women? He's had 2 female and 2 male partners in the past. Understood, everyone is bi. Got it. Bingo. I just got all the information I needed about Noah from Levy. I suppose you becoming the future Empress wouldn't be bad for you. Levy has a pained expression on his face. Imagining me with Noah must be difficult for him. What about High Priest Elijah? What about him? Do you also find him attractive? You're not trying to set me up with someone again, are you? Oops, I got Levy angry. From Celeste's memories, I know they've had conversations similar to this one in the past. I don't know what the right answer to his question is. There is none. If I say I'm asking for myself, he'll be sad that I'm looking at guys other than him. If I refuse to answer, he'll continue thinking I'm trying to pair him with one of the guys. That's not why I was asking. I just wanted to know your opinion. I'm not buying it. Why the High Priest and Prince Noah of all people? They're of such different standing than I am anyway. I couldn't possibly be in a relationship with either of them. The difference in social standing hasn't stopped Levy from falling in love with Celeste. Or from falling in love with Noah in the book, for that matter. Though I did remember him being hung up on status differences in the novel as well. Yes, both are attractive guys. I could see myself being with either of them if our situations were different, but I... Just say my sister is interested in them. Yeah, that would be one way to get yourself out of the hole, I guess. He gives me another pained look. He is in love with me, is what he's trying to say, but he can't allow himself to tell me the truth. At least Levy gave me the information about Noah I wanted to know. I don't want the conversation between Levy and me to get any more difficult, so I suppose I'll end things here. Thanks for talking to me about this, Levy. I'd like to be alone now. Levy gives me a look as if I'm throwing him out after dealing him a blow. In a way, I am, and it pains me to do so. But I don't know how to salvage this conversation. Ah yes, if you can't salvage the conversation, just take advantage of the fact that your social rank is higher and just go, yep, we're done! Have a good rest. Levy exits the room, closing the door behind him gently. I lie down in bed and hide my face against a pillow. I'm so stressed by everything that I'm not even surprised when tears stream down my cheeks, soaking the bedding. I didn't want to hurt Levi, but I didn't know how else to obtain the information I needed, so I could decide what to do to save everyone. For the first time since reincarnating, I give in to all the emotions that have built up inside of me. I'm just one young girl. How can I carry so many heavy burdens? Eventually, I cry myself to sleep. I toss and turn all night, though, unable to get any real rest until nearly dawn. The next evening, Linda gets me all dolled up for the grand ball the Empress is throwing in my name. At the ball, I find myself sitting at the table, staring at silverware I have no idea how to properly use. Celeste's memories aren't helping me much. The servant puts a salad in front of me, and I pick up one of the forks. I hope you picked up the smallest one! There's an offended gasp from my left. I look at the noble sitting next to me. Sorry, I look at the noble lady sitting next to me. She's almost purple in the face, staring down at the fork I'm holding. Wrong piece of cutlery, then. I put it down and take another in my hand. I steal a sideways glance at the noble lady. She doesn't seem to be offended anymore. This one must be the right fork, then. When everyone starts eating, I dig into the salad too. But it tastes like paper to me. I'm nervous. My hands are clammy.
So you've become the Saintess, Lady d'Aquarius.
Hello? The man to my right, Duke George, if Celeste's memory serves me correctly, strikes up a conversation with me. He's a young duke and a powerful player on the battlefield of the Ikari Empire's politics. I'll have to do my best not to say or do anything strange.
Yes, despite my surprise, the Golden Bow has chosen me.
Well, now that you carry such an important role, do you plan to improve your knowledge of etiquette?
Yeah, I had heard that there is the potential for George DLC. Apparently he's quite popular. He points at my salad. Oh, come on, what am I doing wrong this time? The Duke smiles, but his expression isn't unkind.
You have no idea what you're doing wrong, do you?
I don't.
May I?
He extends his hand to me, and when I don't protest, he touches my hand gently to modify the way I'm holding the fork.
Oh, come on, George. You're spoiling the fun.
The lady to my left has a cruel smile on her face. Shoot! I really was eating the salad wrong after all. My cheeks heat up from the embarrassment, and I suddenly find it hard to breathe. For every kind person like Duke George, there's a cruel one like that lady here, a vulture just waiting for me to make a mistake. Now that I'm the Saintess, I'll be watched even more closely than Celeste was as a mere count's daughter. They're all going to be laughing for weeks about the way I ate the stupid salad, I just know it. Celeste's memory tells me that this incident isn't the first time she's ruined her reputation with a stupid mistake either. Excuse me. I can't be here anymore. I have to get some fresh air or else I'll hyperventilate. Are you okay? Sorry, are you okay? Duke George calls after me, but I walk quickly to the terrace. Oop, Oops. Accidentally right-clicked, which apparently opens the save menu. Once I'm away from the throne room, I run into the gardens. I stop only when I reach a small lake. Here I put my arms around my frame, trying to control my breathing. Breathe, Celine. In and out. In and out. Don't cry. Don't cry. You'll ruin the makeup Linda spent hours putting on you to make you look like a real noble lady. Who's this gonna be? The prince, probably? Didn't think I'd run into you here. I turn around when I hear the voice. It's Noah. He's drawn his sword and his usual mocking demeanor is not present. He's completely serious when he suddenly puts his sword against my throat. My heart beats so loudly that it feels like it could jump out of my chest, this time from fear. Does Noah want to kill me?
I wish I could just kill you and be done with it.
Well, I guess the answer to that question is yes. He does, but why? Suddenly I remember the scene. I fangirled over it when I was reading the novel. This is the scene where Noah puts his sword to Levi's throat. It's overly dramatic, and most of the readers of the novel interpret it as a romantic interaction. We talked about the event for hours on the web novels forums. But now I think this setup is just ridiculous. I could take a step back at any time from the coldness of the steel and my neck would be safe. I give Noah a long stare. He's looking at me seriously, as if he's really pondering if he should harm me. I don't believe he actually will. I will entertain his antics for a while longer just to see what he has to say to me. I want to know how much the scene changes with me here instead of Levi.
Why do you want me dead?
Because you're the reason I have to go on the mission to kill the Demon Queen. And so soon. If anybody less capable than you had been chosen as the Saintess, Mother wouldn't have told us to leave within a mere month.
I mean, she probably would have anyway, Noah. I'm glad he thinks so highly of my archery skills. Especially considering how little the nobles think of my etiquette skills. But he's wrong.
I may not be as great at archery as you think.
That fact would change nothing at this point. Mother is now convinced you can defeat the Fiend. This is a suicide mission. None of us will come back from the quest.
Even though I remember this name from, even though I remember this line from the book, my eyes widen.
How do you know we won't return?
His words feel oddly like foreshadowing for what happens in the book. Noah seems to seriously believe what he's saying.
20 people going deep into demon-ravaged lands to enter the Demon Queen's castle and kill her. What could possibly go wrong?
He's really convinced we're going to die on this quest. I can see the desperation in his eyes.
Can't you convince your mother to postpone the day we leave, or to increase the amount of people we can bring with us?
I've already tried. She doesn't want to listen. It's almost if she wants to set us up for failure.
Oh, Noah, you're closer to the truth than you think. I can't tell him anything about his mother's plan to get rid of him. He would just grow suspicious if I, someone he barely knows, spouted such important information about his life. I should only tell him what's really going on with the Empress when, or if, we become friends during the quest.
Look, I'm afraid of the mission too. But I don't want to give up. I won't just roll over and die. I'll keep fighting until the very end. No matter how the mission ends, I want to be sure I've done everything I can to fulfill my role properly.
Noah's eyes widen.
You're right. I can't just give up.
I must also see the mission through until the end. I'm sure you'll do great on the quest. I'm sure you'll do great on the quest. I hear you're a great fighter. Rumor has it you're difficult to talk to and don't have very good social skills. All I see here is a composed young woman who can compliment others. You're a mystery, Saintess. I know, I must be careful about what I say to others. I don't want to break my character as Celeste too much. One thing's for sure, I don't want to die, Your Grace. Just Noah is fine. We're teammates now, I suppose. I like the sound of that. Noah smiles back. He seems much more relaxed now. I'll continue trying to get Mother to delay the deadline for us to leave. I would appreciate more time to train. Right. Time to go back to the ball, then. Without sparing me another glance, Noah walks past me towards the terrace. I watch him until he disappears between the carefully trimmed bushes of the palace garden. I look out at the water of the lake and take a few deep breaths. I really hadn't expected Levy's scene with Noah to play out for me. I also didn't end up responding the way Levy would have done. Our encounter didn't turn romantic at all. Yet my heart is beating quickly regardless, because I'm still scared about so many things. The stress is catching up to me. I fall to my knees on the soft grass. I can't hold back my tears any longer. In the end, I'm just a girl caught up in so many responsibilities. I'm tired. I'm terrified. I want it all to stop. No matter how much I cry through this new reality... no matter how much I cry, though, this new reality won't magically change for me. I'm still Celeste, and I'm still the Saintess. The sooner I accept my fate and put my energy into the few things I still can change, the better. With renewed purchase... I am failing on words today. With renewed purpose, I get up and start walking back towards my room. Screw the ball, I'm not going back in there only to be ridiculed further. I don't want the whole Imperial Court to continue watching how terrible I am at being a noble lady. If I had more time before the quest, I would take lessons to get better at etiquette. However, with the way this situation has unfolded, I'll have to focus only on improving my archery and horseback riding skills. Besides, the future of the Empire doesn't depend on me knowing which fork to use for a salad, but it certainly does hang on me using the golden bow properly. I'm walking down the corridor towards the apartment where my family is staying when I hear someone running behind me. Celeste! Levy calls me by my first name, like he always does when it's just him and Celeste. It's something the two of them agreed to do when they were younger. Levy stops before me and looks me up and down. Where have you been? I didn't notice when you left the throne room. You're not supposed to go anywhere without me. Father's orders, I know. I just forgot. I realise I haven't been thinking about how Levy would feel if I suddenly disappeared. Yet again. I'm not concerned about failing to follow his orders. I'm genuinely worried about you. He blushes and looks away. My heartbeat quickens. Why though? Celeste has no romantic feelings towards Levy, but do I? I must admit he's very handsome and kind. And he's my favourite character from the book. Am I much of a simp? I let out a long sigh. Levy looks back at me with a worried expression. Then he looks me up and down again. You're all right, are you not? He focuses on my face and frowns. You've been crying. He must notice my smudged makeup. I mean, it's pretty obvious, let's not lie about that. I was, but I feel better now. What made you cry? When I see the sincere worry on Levy's face, I want to tell him the truth. I'm just overwhelmed by suddenly becoming the Saintess, by having to carry the burden of saving the whole Empire. I look down, tears welling up in my eyes again. Celeste. I look back up to see Levy staring at me with love and adoration. It hurts being on the receiving end of such feelings, knowing that they aren't really for me. I wonder at what point he'll realise that we're not the same person. Because that's gotta happen, right? No matter what happens, know I'll always stay by your side. I'm sorry to drag you into this quest with me. He would have been caught up in this mess anyway if he were the saint. But now he's coming along anyway as Celeste's knight. What if Levy dies protecting me? My heart feels heavy. I must do my best to get as strong as possible. Don't say that. I swore to always protect you, did I not? Back when I became your knight, remember? I recall Celeste's memory of that time. They were both 14 back then, and Levy took a knee in front of her and swore he would protect her until death did them part. He made his vow with such sincerity and fervour. Yet, I'm not the one whom he swore to always stay beside. That person was Celeste, so he should be free of the oath since Celeste is kind of dead. I can't tell him the truth, though. On the spur of the moment, I gesture towards Levy. Lean down, please. You're too tall. Too tall for what? Levy gives me a puzzled look, but complies with my request. Aww! I press up on my toes and kiss him on the cheek. Not as Celeste, but as Celine. Because I genuinely feel grateful to him, and I don't know how else to express myself right now.
Celeste?
Levy blushes a deep red and gets flustered. Only when I lean back and smile at him do I realise I shouldn't be doing something so intimate to a man who loves the woman who once inhabited this body. I might be sending him the wrong message, especially after our earlier conversation.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I just wanted to express my gratitude.
I let out a sigh.
You always do your very best to protect me. Thank you, Levi.
I'm sorry, it's supposed to be Levi, not Levy. I have been mispronouncing his name. Levi. Got it.
You're welcome, but it's my job to take care of you.
I know you're not doing it just because it's your job.
Levi gives me a startled look. I turn around and start walking towards my room before he can reply. Let's go, Levi. We need to rest. Training starts tomorrow. The next day, I begin training with the golden bow on the palace training grounds. Much as I expected, due to its elaborate design, the bow proves difficult to use. I send arrow after arrow flying at targets, but I only hit once out of every 10 times. Not only are my bow skills rusty, but the weapon isn't cooperating either. Finally, too frustrated to continue, I give up. I'll try again tomorrow. I make my way to my room with Levi following behind me. Is this going to be the prince again? And this is a suicide mission. We're not going to come back to Solus alive. Okay. Now we're talking to someone. It could be Elijah, maybe. Please, Noah, don't say such things in public. What if someone hears you? At the end of the corridor, 2 people stand to the side talking. The one who said something about a suicide mission is Noah. After our conversation in the garden the other day, his words don't shock me. What does surprise me, though, is he's openly talking about his feelings with someone else. Oh, no. Okay, it is a knight. Okay. Hide behind a pillar and take a peek at the other person. The dark-skinned knight with her hair in buns must be Tarek, Noah's right hand and the leader of the palace guards. She's wearing armor with the Lokari royal insignia on her chest, characteristic of the guards. Oh yeah, I see, it's a sun and a moon. Nice insignia. The leader of the mission should believe in the quest's success. You can't be heard doubting our ability to defeat the Demon Queen. It's just... I have a really bad feeling about Mother's request, Tarek. Why is she pushing us to go on the Why is she pushing us to go on to the Demon Queen's castle so soon? Why can't we wait a few months until everyone feels ready and has practiced fighting as a team? We can't go against the Empress's orders, you know that. She said her reason for the rush is the demon army keeps getting closer and closer to the capital. Yet the fiends are at least 3 weeks' journey away from Solus on horseback, and they haven't made any significant movements towards us in at least a decade. We've got time. The Empress seems to have a different opinion on the matter. I just don't trust her. Noah, watch what you say. What if... Suddenly she turns around and unsheathes her sword. Who's there? She's noticed me. Let's not run away. I step out from behind the pillar, revealing myself. Oh, if it isn't the Saintess. Welcome. Hello. How much of our conversation did you overhear? I told you, Your Grace, you should be more careful. I'm sorry for eavesdropping. I was just curious. The excuse is a sad one, but it's the truth. Noah takes a step closer to me. Oh? You were curious about me? I arch my eyebrows, unsure of what he means. I didn't say... He leans closer to me, his face level with mine. He has his signature smirk on his face. I didn't know you were interested in me, Celeste. I finally understand what he's suggesting. He's flirting with me. But that's not what I meant. I'm very pleased to win your attention. If you want to know more about me, how about we get together for tea? He really is hitting on me. I feel embarrassed, unsure of how to respond. I'm not. Would tomorrow afternoon be okay for you? Not that he's letting me get a word in edgeways anyway. Anger rises in my heart. I'm not interested in you. I take a few steps back, putting distance between us again. Noah chuckles. I let out a frustrated huff. I don't appreciate you flirting with me. Is that what I'm doing? You clearly are. The other day he wanted to kill me, and today he's playing with me. What a frustrating guy. I'm leaving. I rush towards my rooms, my footsteps heavy. I feel furious at Noah for clearly making fun of me. Levi follows behind me like my shadow. I spend the next few days training with the golden bow. I increase my accuracy rate, but I'm still struggling to wield the weapon. In the afternoon, Elijah approaches me. How's the training going? Should I be honest with him? I hesitate, but I know I'll need his help to access the bow's magic. Honestly, the training's not going great. I feel like the bow is fighting me for control. The bow is supposed to be semi-sentient. It may well be that it hasn't yet fully accepted you. It hasn't fully accepted me? What should I do to make the artifact approve of me? Unfortunately, I don't know. Training will continue to be a struggle, won't it? I wanted to ask you something ever since I was chosen as the Saintess. You're the High Priest, so you know a lot about holy magic, is that right? As much as a human possibly can. I'm the strongest light magic user in the Empire. That's right. I remember that part from the book. Everyone thought Elijah would become the saint, but on his 18th birthday he didn't get chosen. The previous high priest abdicated at that time and passed on the role to Elijah. That's how Elijah came to have such a high position at such a young age. The novel also said Elijah's light magic is abnormally strong. Could you teach me about light magic? Sure, but you have no magic of your own. You know that, right? I nod. Celeste was never a magic user, and that fact didn't change when I took over her body. But I have to defeat the Demon Queen with the Golden Bow's magic, right? So, is there a way for me to access it? Ah, yes. Artifacts like the Golden Bow do carry their own magic. You don't have to have a magical affinity of your own to use their power. Although already being trained in wielding magic would help you understand more easily how the bow's magic is used. Still, I can at least explain the basics to you, and then with practice I'm sure you'll catch on. What if I don't understand what he tries to teach me? Will we be doomed to fail then? I swallow hard. I'm afraid I'll be a magical failure. No, gloomy thoughts won't help make anything better. I need to focus on what Elijah can teach me, and do my best to understand the Golden Bow's power. Please, teach me what you know about using an artifact's holy magic. Sure. Elijah moves behind me, touching the hand I'm using to aim the golden bow. Close your eyes. I will pour some of my light magic into you so you can understand how magic flows through the human body. To access the Golden Bow's magic, you'll have to pull some of that magic towards you and let it enter your body. Be open to it. Don't struggle against the power. I close my eyes, like Elijah commands. I feel his grip on my hand growing firmer. He's standing behind me, his chest pressed against my back so I can feel the heat of his body touching mine. The contact is quite intimate and makes my cheeks flush with embarrassment. Then I feel Elijah's magic enter my body. It's a gentle stream, not as strong as when he examined me for injuries a few days ago. Still, I can feel the magic coursing through my veins. Romance points on no. We need to pay attention. Let's pay attention. Elijah told me to focus on the flow of magic, so I don't let myself succumb to the pleasant feeling of closeness. I focus on the power coursing through my veins instead. Do you feel how the magic is moving through you? Yes, I do. Elijah lets go of me and steps away, taking the comforting presence of his magic with him. I'm almost saddened, suddenly feeling as if I've lost something important. I shake off the strange emotion. You must convince the golden bow to let you access its magic. Then pull the power towards yourself and let it flow through your body. Only by doing so will you be able to aim that magic with your arrow and strike the Demon Queen when the time comes. I use my staff as a way to store more magic. Even though I have magic of my own within my body, I can only use more powerful spells with the staff's help. Just like what you must do with the bow, I draw the magic of my staff into my body so I can release the power as bolts of light. The human body is a conduit for an artifact's magic. I nod, trying my best to comprehend what Elijah's explaining. I'll try it out. Great. Let me know if you have any more questions. I have to return to my office. You can find me there whenever you need me. After Elijah leaves, I return to practicing archery. I try to pull the bow's magic towards me like he instructed. But I can't replicate what the High Priest did. Even so, I keep trying. There's too much at stake for me to give up so easily. Okay, that's enough for today. I can't overdo it or else I won't have the strength to train tomorrow. I do a few stretches, grab my bow, and make my way back to my room. Oh! In the palace corridor, I run into someone I hadn't expected to meet again. Ah, it's George! You wonder where all the arrows are coming from? Well, there'll be a certain amount that I have, and then, you know, once you've shot them all, you go and retrieve them, you see, from the target. At least that's what you do when you're doing archery nowadays. I mean, I don't know what kind of a point these arrows have, but if they've got, like, just a point, they're fairly easy to pull back out of the target. I assume we wouldn't be using arrows that are going to be a pain in the ass to pull out from a target if we're training, right? Greetings, Lady Celeste. George nods at me, putting a hand over his heart. I make my best attempt at a curtsy. Your Grace? George looks me up and down. His eyes show concern. What about when armies shoot off hundreds of them during a battle? Well, either they'll be supplied by someone from the rear, or as you advance, you retrieve the arrows that you can retrieve. Pull them out of dead bodies, you know. Grab spares from enemy archers that you've killed. George looks me up and down, his eyes show concern. Are you doing okay? Yes, I am. You ran off from the ball the other night and never returned. It's true that I embarrassed myself by running away from George and Penelope in the middle of our conversation. I was about to have an anxiety attack, so I needed to get away, but after I met Noah in the gardens and cried my eyes out, I was too tired to rejoin the party. I didn't want to be among people anymore anyway, especially nobles who were just waiting for me to make a blunder. I've been worried for you. Now that was unexpected. Why would George worry about me? We barely know each other. I've really been okay. I get the feeling he doesn't buy my words. Walk with me in the gardens? I suppose it wouldn't hurt to get to know one of the most important people in the Lokari Empire better. Okay. We walk for a while in silence until we reach the less frequented part of the gardens. I've been meaning to ask you something, but the dining table during a ball didn't seem like the right place. Could you tell me more about the demon that attacked you? Yes, of course. It was an imp, if I recognized it correctly. It was a small flying creature with a scorpion's tail, long horns and sharp claws. Yes, that's right. It had reddish-grey skin and red wings with some symbols tattooed on them. They come in various colours. Do they? Yes, imps are aplenty at the warfront. They have a cruel nature, seeking to play with their victims rather than outright kill them like other monstrosities. Though they're relatively easy to kill with magic or arrows, if one can keep up with their swift movements. They know how to dodge attacks well. Demons are more intelligent than humans give them credit for. You know a lot about demons. I'm not sure how much you know about me. I used to be the general of the Lokari Empire's army, and I fought on the warfront for years. The general? Yes, the highest ranking officer in the field. But aren't you very young to hold such an important position? George chuckles. I'm momentarily stunned when I see his beautiful, carefree smile. You're one to judge. Celeste just turned 18 this year. I was 3 years older when I died. Yeah, you're right. I'm 26. Oh, then you're not that much older than me. You think 8 years is not too much? In this world where there are bigger age gaps between couples in arranged marriages? Wait, why am I thinking about George as a love interest? He isn't asking me this question for me to consider him romantically. Or is he? It depends on why you're asking. I suppose you're right. It's just that I feel older than my age. The years I spent on the battlefield took a toll on me. Could you tell me more about the war? Sure, what would you like to know? The war has been going on for a few decades now. Is it really impossible to win without the Saint? We've encountered the Demon Queen herself on numerous occasions, but we couldn't kill her with weapons or magic. Even light magic wielded by powerful priests couldn't breach her defenses. She has a dark aura shield around her that deflects all incoming attacks. Nothing has been able to get through so far. And she keeps the demon army very well organized. They obey her commands even at the cost of their lives. Since demons value their own lives so little, they fight viciously into the death. They're a difficult opponent to face. You've really seen the Demon Queen? Yes, though she can change her form. One moment she's a beautiful woman, the next she's a horrifying monstrosity. I see. After making a circle around the gardens, we returned to the corridor. I'll have to make my way back to the palace now. Duty calls. Oh, I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time. No, I wanted to talk to you. I need a break sometimes too. If you ever have more questions about the war or the Demon Queen, don't hesitate to ask me whenever we have the opportunity to talk. I'd love to learn more about your role as the General too. Really? It's nice of you to be interested in me. I may or may not answer you though, depending on the question. George clearly has his secrets, and I don't feel like I can pressure him for answers. He's already shared some useful information with me today anyway. Okay, thank you for talking to me. It was a pleasure. And Lady Celeste, I know you carry a heavy burden now, having the responsibility of the Saintess on your shoulders. But don't be so hard on yourself. You're trying your best. Thank you. We say our goodbyes and part ways. I found George very intimidating at first, considering his high position in the noble society, but he's actually a kind man, isn't he? As I return to my room, I'm again faced with an unexpected encounter. Celeste! Fancy running into you again. I fear I can't say the same, Your Grace. And here I was, waiting for the opportunity to apologize to you. Apologize? Quite unexpected of me, isn't it? Well, I'm glad you finally changed your mind about teasing me, Your Grace. About teasing you? Oh, you mean the way I'm keeping you on your toes. We both know that's quite entertaining for the both of us. No way! But no, I wanted to say sorry about the other day in the garden. I was overly dramatic. Aren't you always? You could say that. Still, we certainly agree that putting a sword to your throat is on another level than our usual conversations or even the way I act towards Mother. Should I give you two some privacy? No, you don't have to, Tarek. I don't think I properly introduced you to Celeste. She's the head of the palace guards, isn't she? That's not what I meant. Tarek is also like a mother to me. She's been my personal guard since I was little, before I promoted her to be my right hand, the person who keeps order in the palace on my behalf. She's a very important person to me, my link to my Dorendi legacy. It always warms my heart when you speak so highly of me. How could I not? You've always supported me, even when I had nobody to rely on. Your father, the late Emperor Consort, died when you were young, right? Since the Empress didn't have a good relationship with Noah, he had no other person he could call family. It's not surprising that he came to treat Tarek, his personal guard, as family. I already knew that much from the book, but seeing Noah admitted of his love for Tarek still warms my heart. There's more to Noah than just annoyingly flirting with me, that's for sure. Yes, my father died when I was 6. I can't say I even remember his face that well. If not for the family portraits, I would have already forgotten the way he looked. Because every day when I stare in the mirror, I only see my mother's features. Her face, her hair colour, the way we smile, they're all the same. The only thing I inherited from my father is the colour of my eyes and my slightly darker complexion. Noah glances at Tarek. Sometimes I wish I could have more proof of my southern legacy than just skin that looks tanned and an eye colour unusual for the Lokari. Tarek's expression turns sad. She looks at Noah with both love and pity in her eyes. I too feel what Noah said deeply. Of course he wants to know more about his father's side of his family, about his roots. It's not easy to be a person of mixed race, especially without family who can teach you about your culture. I'm glad Tarek was there for you, Your Grace. And so am I. That's why, Celeste, I may sometimes be overly dramatic. Flamboyant, even. It's the way I deal with the world. But that doesn't mean I'm not sincere when I apologize to you. I really am sorry for the other day. I didn't mean to scare you. It's okay. I'm not that mad about it anymore. But you are still a little angry. A little. Very well, I can accept that. I often find that anger is a great source of motivation to drive one forward. I hope you will use that energy well. Just don't go overboard with being mad at me. I wouldn't want your anger to turn into resentment. All right. Noah and Tarek escort me to my family's apartment, where we say our goodbyes. The more I learn about Noah, the more I realise how human he is. He's a multifaceted individual, not just a character in a story, but a real person. We're all real people. I mustn't forget that fact. Is your training going well? In the evening, Eurydice comes to my room. I'm happy to have her company. Eurydice has always been a ray of sunshine in Celeste's life. I'm glad the two of them have such a good relationship. I feel like an imposter by pretending to be Celeste in front of her twin sister. She hasn't figured out I'm someone else yet, though, so I'll continue acting for as long as I can. Not really. I let out a long sigh and tell Eurydice about my training. I don't understand what the High Priest means about accessing the Golden Bow's magic. Every time I try and think about the artifact letting me share in some godly power, nothing happens. It's frustrating. Elijah showed me how it can feel to receive the magic, but I can't reproduce the result. I have no affinity for magic. I don't understand what to do. Don't pressure yourself so much. It's only been a few hours since you even found out how light magic is used. You're right. I should be more patient. I'm just annoyed because the golden bow is so clunky in its design that aiming is hard as well. I glare at the offending object, which rests next to my bed. It's like the golden bow is actively resisting me. I don't think that's possible. Elijah said the golden bow is semi-sentient. Well, it did have the will to choose its saint. I always thought choosing was all it could do, though, except for killing the demon queen and acting as a normal weapon. The golden bow is a mystery, that's for sure. I let out a long sigh. You should take some time off to relax. I can't. Not when I know I have so little time to train. You're not going to be any good at learning how to wield the bow if you just train constantly. The human body and mind have to take breaks from time to time. I know what we should do. Lady Penelope is organising a tea party in the Royal Gardens in 3 days. Who is Lady Penelope? Oh, Celeste, you've forgotten already. The Duchess of Ventus. I looked through Celeste's memories, but come up with no information about the Duchess or Ventus. I have no idea who you're talking about. You sat next to her during the last ball. I feel myself going pale, then red. Duchess Penelope was the one who wanted me to embarrass myself further during dinner. That's not a good idea. I don't want to go to her tea party. No, definitely not. The Duchy of Ventus is known for its lavender fields and beautiful gardens. They also make the best honey in the Empire. Now that you're the Saintess, the Duchess invited us to her tea party. Many other important people will be there too. All the more reason why I shouldn't go. Please, Lady Letitia asked me to convince you to come. Duchess Letitia is a friend of Eurydice. Her family I know. They own vast fields, and the people working for them produce the majority of grain in the Empire. Letitia is kind and compassionate. She took Eurydice into her entourage 2 years ago, elevating Eurydice's status in society. Celeste feels indebted to the Duchess. But I don't. I have no desire to go to Lady Penelope's tea party and further embarrass myself. Lady Letitia said that now you have such high standing in society, you should take part in the politics of the Empire more often, Celeste. You're going on the quest now, but when you return home you will still be the Saintess. You have the chance to be very influential, if you use your opportunities correctly. Nothing bad will happen with myself and Lady Letitia around. Please, Celeste. When Eurydice begs me like this, I find her pleas hard to refuse. I don't want to go, but she has a point. I am planning to survive the mission. That means I'll have a future life beyond just fighting against the Demon Queen. I will return to the palace, and then I'll have to hone my etiquette skills. I don't want to end up an important player in the politics of the Empire, but I also don't want to become an embarrassment to both myself and my sister. Alright, I'll go. With a heavy heart, I agree to Eurydice's request. Really? Yes, really. Don't ask me again, or I might change my mind. Eurydice grasps my hands and jumps up and down, squealing. Now you're the one not acting like a noble lady. Oh, come on. Don't pretend like you care about acting prim and proper now. Thank you, Celeste. I have a bad feeling about the tea party. Now that I've agreed to go through, I'll have to keep my word and do so no matter what. I need to get another drink. I will be right back. Otherwise I won't be able to talk for much longer. And I'm back. The next day, I'm returning from training when I witness a commotion in front of the doors to the throne room. People dressed in rags with burns on their bodies and badly bandaged wounds push against the guards who stand between the crowd and the entrance to the Grand Hall. Stop pushing! We need to see the Empress! Please, let us through! Mom, I'm so hungry! Hush, love. I'll get you some food soon. I turn around to look at Levy. Any idea what's going on here? No, but it may be worth asking about. If you wish, I'll keep you safe. I nod. I want to find out what's wrong and how I can help. I approach the crowd from behind and tap one of the men on the shoulder. He turns around and gives me a desperate look. My lady, please help us. What's happening? Who are you? We're refugees from Barwood, a town that was a mere hour's ride from the front lines. But 2 months ago the demons reached our homes. They burned our beloved town to the ground. Yes, it's as my wife says. Barwood is nothing but ash and ruin now. We took our families and walked all the way to the capital on foot to seek the help of our benevolent ruler. But our benevolent ruler doesn't even want to see us. I look past them to see the throng of refugees crowding around the guards, pressing closer to the throne room entrance. How long have you been waiting for an audience? Since morning. We've run out of supplies and money. We're hungry. I wouldn't call the Empress a kind ruler, so I'm not shocked that she doesn't give a damn about the refugees. If she hasn't wanted to see them since morning, I doubt she ever will. I have no idea how to break the news to the couple. They're looking at me with such expectancy. I want to help them. No, I will help them. Levy, can you run to the kitchen and bring water and some bread and butter for the refugees? If the kitchen staff don't want to cooperate, tell them the Saintess sent you. I'll go talk to Prince Noah. Maybe he can help, or at least tell me what else we can do for the refugees. Yes, my lady. Levy bows to me and runs off. You're the Saintess, my lady. The Saintess! What I see in the eyes of the crowd now is reverence, and the emotion scares me. I'm just me, Celeste. I don't feel like a holy person. Still, I suddenly understand what the Saintess means to the common folk. The people step closer, extending their arms to grab me. I grow afraid. Levi's not with me. I gotta go. I'll be back with help soon. I turn around and bolt away from the crowd, running as quickly as my feet can carry me. The Saintess means so many different things to different people. A saviour, a noble of high standing, a perfect archer. Yet why do I feel like none of those titles suit me? Still, I want to help the refugees, so I run to Noah's office. Noah's secretary leads me into the office, where the prince is meeting with Tarek. Lady Celeste de Quires, Saintess of the Golden Bow. I curtsy quickly and sloppily. Noah's office is spacious, with a large green rug in the middle and several pieces of expensive-looking artwork on the walls. I'm not interested in the decor right now, though. Oh, if it isn't the Saintess! You look radiant today. Must be... Don't start now, Noah. Noah drops his usual smirk, sensing I'm serious. What's going on? I met a group of refugees from Barwood in front of the throne room. They've been waiting for an audience with the Empress since morning. They're thirsty, hungry, and have festering, badly tended wounds. There are men, women, and small children there, whole families who have run here from the battlefront. Yet the Empress doesn't want to see them. Please help, Noah. Noah gives me a long look, his expression angry. Even from my mother, this sort of behavior is too much. I agree with him, but it's not my place to say anything. Thank you for bringing the matter to my attention. I'll do anything in my power to help them. I'll find the refugees new homes in the capital, and I will make sure they're fed. Thank you, Noah. What is the palace guard doing when there are so many people in need here? The guard is protecting the entrance to the throne room. That's... I'll have to have a word with William. Clearly, the Empress doesn't want to deal with the refugees. Celeste, could I ask you a favor? What is it? Can you go by the priest's office and summon a healer or two who can tend to the refugees? I would send one of my own people, but I'm not sure who's on the side of the Empress and who's loyal to me anymore. I think the matter of the refugees should be taken care of quietly behind my mother's back. Tarek will help me arrange accommodations and food for the refugees, but I would like them to be healed as well. I don't trust anybody else not to blabber about what we're doing. Of course, I can go to the church wing and talk to the priests. I'm sure they'll be happy to help once they're aware of the matter. I nod, say my goodbyes, and leave the office. I've never been to the wing of the palace where the priests reside, and neither has Celeste, so I ask a servant for directions. Soon I find the door to the priest's office. I knock. Come in. I enter the lavishly decorated room. To the left, numerous cabinets support shelf upon shelf of thick-spined books, while a large, beautiful painting hangs on the opposite wall. 3 people sit behind desks. To my left, a green-haired man with a scowl on his face is looking through the large stacks of papers, not sparing me a glance. His table is decorated with shining crystals. How curious. To the right, a priestess with curly red hair looks up from the architectural plans of a huge building, where she's been drawing something with red ink. She gives me a pleasant smile. At the podium in the back is Elijah's desk. The High Priest gives me a surprised look when he sees me. You've come to visit me so soon, Saintess? That's the Saintess? The woman looks me up and down, then smiles again. I'm happy to meet you. I'm Meredith, overseer of the construction of the cathedral in Solus. I didn't even know there was a cathedral being built in the capital. Further evidence of how little Celeste cares about anything other than hunting and horse riding. The Saintess, I'm Gareth, Elijah's right hand. Gareth barely spares me a glance. He must be really busy with organizing his paperwork. I'm here because I want to ask you a favor, High Priest. It's fine to call me Elijah. How can I help? I look at Gareth and Meredith, unsure if I should speak while they're here. Gareth and Meredith are my most trusted people. You can tell me anything you need in their presence. Is something wrong? I guess if Elijah thinks it's fine, then I'm okay to speak with his 2 subordinates around us. A crowd of refugees has gathered outside the throne room. They've come from Barwood near the battlefront and want an audience with the Empress. They wish to ask her for help. They have nothing but what they managed to salvage from their town before it burned. They're hungry and badly wounded, but the Empress doesn't want to see them. Please, Elijah, could you use your light magic to heal their wounds? Of course I will. You don't have to ask me twice. Gareth, you will come with me. What? But the paperwork. The documents can wait. I know how much you hate having to organise them anyway. Healing's not a break, but I'll help. Gareth gets up from his seat and grabs 2 heavy bags from underneath his desk. Supplies to clean wounds and apply medicine the non-magical way. Let's go. Meredith, please take care of the office while we're away. Of course. Elijah, Gareth and I leave the priest's office and walk to the corridor in front of the throne room. Both Noah and Levi have returned. Levi and the other servants are distributing water and bread from the kitchen to all the people in need. Wearing a serious expression on his face, Noah talks with the couple I spoke to earlier. Tarek takes notes from the conversation on a notepad, her quill moving quickly and efficiently. As soon as Elijah and Gareth see the extent of the refugees' injuries, they throw themselves into action, starting with the most seriously wounded. Their hands glow as they use their healing magic. Is there anything I can do to help? I don't think we have any training in healing. We can definitely distribute food. I come closer to Levi and the servants. Can I help with distributing the food? Are you sure, my lady? It's a servant's work. I want to be useful. Levi hesitates for a moment, then nods. 1 loaf of bread, 1 piece of cheese, and 1 water skin to each person, including children. Understood. I kneel down next to the crates that Levi and the servants brought here. 1 holds loaves of bread, another holds cheese sliced into generous chunks, and the last 2 crates hold full water skins. Levi organises the refugees into a neat line. I give him 1 of each provision, and he gives them to the first person in the queue. Meanwhile, the servants distribute food to the badly wounded refugees Elijah and Gareth are currently healing. The servants help some of the injured eat as well. Time flies by as we hand out the provisions. At some point, I lose count of how many people we've fed. When we run out of supplies, the servants run to the kitchens and bring more. At last, everyone has received their rations. Levi and I sit down by a pillar, snacking on some leftover bread and cheese. I'm so happy we were able to help these people. Thank you, Celeste. You helped as much as I did. Why are you thanking me? You're the one who got involved in the situation in the first place. You chose to act. I'm grateful for your initiative. I get the feeling Levi took helping the refugees personally. I think I know why he's happy we saved those people. I remember his backstory in the book. As a child, he lived on the battlefront until his parents perished in a demon attack. Yeah, he does have a lot of backstory angst going on, doesn't he? He must see a parallel between the situation of these people now and his experience of coming to the capital with his brother 8 years ago. That also explains why he was so worried about me after I survived my encounter with a fiend. Before Levi was chosen to train as a knight, he and his brother escaped a fiend attack and scraped by on whatever they could. They had to rely on the help of others. I give Levi a serious look, nodding. Noah will figure out how to help those refugees further. Don't worry, Levi. May I have everyone's attention? Noah, standing in the middle of the refugee group, speaks up, his expression serious. Now that you are all healed and have been given food and refreshment, I'd like each of your families to come to my office. We'll discuss helping you find a place to settle in the city. For now, though, I'll assign you temporary accommodations. In 2 weeks, you'll be granted proper permanent housing. I'll also find jobs for everyone so you can sustain yourselves in the capital on your own. Very organized, this guy. In the meantime, I will provide you with food, medicine, and clothing so you can adjust to your new lives without trouble. Some people start crying while others cheer. Prince Noah, thank you! Priests, thank you for your healing. Thanks for your help, Saintess. Everyone gives us grateful looks. I turn to Levi with a bright smile. See? I told you Noah would figure out what to do next. There are tears in Levi's eyes. He smiles through them. I'm so happy we could change these people's lives. The situation is definitely personal for him. The crowd follows Noah to his office. I thank Elijah and Noah for their help. Then Levi and I return to my family's apartment. I'm tired. At the same time, I'm happy I was able to help the refugees. Aim and release. I spend the next 2 days practicing archery with renewed purpose. The threat of the Demon Queen's army feels more real to me after having witnessed the plight of Barwood's refugees. I know who I'm fighting to keep safe, and I'm ready to do more. This war isn't just part of the story anymore. It's really happening. Yeah, I miss again. The Golden Bow doesn't want to listen to me. I feel like it's actively fighting me. Aim and... That idea is ridiculous though, isn't it? It's just a bow with magic. It couldn't really be sentient like Elijah said. Or could it? Release. Yet I'm living in a fantasy world, so isn't everything theoretically possible? I know there are some bounds to magic, but I haven't been thoroughly trained on the topic, so I'm not sure of the specifics. I miss again. Stupid bow! Even so, I don't give up. I aim and shoot again. I miss again and again. Sometimes I hit the target, only to miss over and over again once more. Ouch! At some point I pull the bow wrong. Maybe I'm tired from making arrows fly like crazy over the past few days. My hand is bleeding. I look at the redness gathering in my palm. I can't continue shooting the bow with an injured hand. Even if I bandage my hand, I won't be able to shoot. The motion will hurt too much. Yeah, cuts to the palm are bad. It's difficult to heal properly. I need healing. Healing magic is still a strange concept to me as someone from Earth. Yet holy magic would indeed close the wound quickly so I could continue my training. I've already seen proof of Elijah and Gareth's healing skills during the situation with the refugees. I look around, trying to find Levi. I see him engaged in mock combat with one of the other knights. I don't want Levi to find out I'm injured. From what I've seen in Celeste's memories, he always flips out whenever his lady is hurt. I'll just seek out a priest on my own. I know the way to the priest wing now. I shouldn't need much time to get this wound healed and return here. I make my way through the corridors of the palace. I pass by the chapel. The door's open, so I peek inside. Elijah is standing in front of the pedestal where the golden bow used to be. His hands joined together in prayer. He has a contemplative look on his face. He must be praying to the god of light. He could heal my hand, but I don't want to interrupt this serene scene. Just when I'm about to leave, I hear his voice behind me. You're free to approach me whenever you want. turn around and step into the chapel. I'm sorry. You were praying. I didn't want to disturb you. Yeah, let's ignore the fact that the background still has a bow in it. Is that so? I can pray any time, but I can only talk to you when you're around. Somehow I'm embarrassed by his words and the smirk on his face. First Noah, now Elijah? Why do all the guys around Celeste want to flirt with her so badly? I suppose I can officially assume that Elijah is into me. What exactly about Celeste, about me, do they find so interesting? Protagonist power, that's what it is. Their interest could work in my favour, given the love requirement for defeating the Demon Queen. If only I wasn't myself and knew how to flirt with a guy. Elijah comes closer to me. He looks down and notices my bleeding hand. You're injured. I was just going to the priest's wing to get my hand healed. I overdid it at archery practice. And you want to get this wound patched up so you can overdo it all over again? We're leaving in 3 weeks. There's no time for me to not practice using the bow. How's the training going? Slowly. It still feels like the golden bow doesn't want me to wield it. I can't wrap my head around the concept of a bow being sentient. You're convinced it doesn't want to shoot for you. Maybe you're the one blocking its power. Maybe he's right. I'm an uneducated person who has no comprehension of magic. Perhaps I'm rejecting the golden bow instead of the other way around. I'm not sure. I need to think about it. I look down on my hand. Elijah follows my gaze. May I heal you? Yes. I would be happy if you did. I need to touch you to do so. He's noticed how I've been responding to his touch and his magic so far. Just being near Elijah makes me embarrassed. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure another priest would also have to touch her. You can touch me to heal me. Elijah takes my hand in his own. I can't help but feel shy. His magic pours into my hand slowly, its power bringing me that pleasant feeling of being home. The wound closes in a minute, fully healed, leaving no scar. Elijah lets go of my hand. I use every ounce of my will to resist reaching out to him. Why does his magic have such a strong effect on me? Here, don't overdo the archery practice again. Though I'm sure you will anyway. Come by my office if you're bleeding again. I hate to see you hurt. He does? That's kind of sweet. Or is such a response normal from a healer? There's so much I don't know about Elijah. His role in the book was mostly to be part of the love triangle between himself, Levi, and Noah. The novel didn't go into as much detail about him as it did about Noah and Levi. Did Elijah have a lover in the church before the events of the book happened? Or had he never been in a relationship? I don't think I'm close enough to him to ask about his love life. But maybe one day I will be. And then the mystery of Elijah will unravel itself. What is it? Elijah notices how quiet I've been. Thank you. No problem. But what's on your mind? He's not dropping the subject. Forgive me if I shouldn't ask this question, but we've interacted a few times so far, yet I realize I know so little about you. Elijah laughs, a cheerful and carefree sound. Why would you want to know more about me, of all people? I'm not sure why I'm so interested in Elijah. I can't deny the truth, though. I really do want to know more about him. Fine, I'll tell you something else about me. Oh, he's taking pity on me? Well, I am interested in hearing what he has to say. I have 3 brothers. I was born a commoner, a farmer's son. When I turned 10, my affinity for light magic was tested, and I found out I was very strong at wielding holy powers. That's why my parents decided to give me to the church. I spent the next 10 years training as a priest and honing my magical skills. So he's 20 then, I guess. Or possibly more. Do you miss your parents? I've seen them only 3 times since they gave me up, so no, I don't. We don't have a strong connection. Same with my brothers. If anything, my family was relieved to have one less mouth to feed. That's cruel. That's just life. Farmers don't have it easy, especially with the threat of the demons looming closer and closer each year. My parents have a farm that's only a week away from the battlefront by horseback. Should nothing change and the demons continue to advance, the farm will be destroyed by the end of the next decade. He talks about the possible destruction of his parents' farm with such a detached tone. He really doesn't have warm feelings for his family. My colleagues from the church quickly became my family. Gareth and Meredith, mostly. We all graduated from the church's collegium together 2 years ago. A month later I turned 18, so it was time for me to test to become the saint. So yes, confirmed 20. Alright, Nick. Sleep well. Many people thought I would be the chosen one, given my strong affinity for holy magic. I even took some archery training to prepare, realizing the odds were high for me to be the saint. Though I'm nowhere near very skilled at shooting the bow. Yet the golden bow didn't choose me. However, the time came for the head of the church to change. So knowing I wasn't the saint and taking into account my achievements and skills, the previous high priest nominated me for the position. I was selected and became the new high priest. I've held the role ever since. Do you like being the high priest? It's a lot of paperwork and making major decisions. I do enjoy the job, most of the time. Has the information I've given you about me satisfied your curiosity? Truth be told, I'm more interested in small things like Elijah's favourite food or colour. No, I shouldn't be. We're nowhere near close enough to ask about such personal details. The tidbit he shared about his relationship with his family was new to me, but the rest I already knew from the book. None of it helped me figure out why I'm so interested in Elijah. Still, I feel it would be improper to do anything else at this point but nod and agree with him. Yes, thank you for sharing more about yourself with me. I'm happy to quench your thirst for knowledge regarding myself. Now then, I need to return to my office. It was nice chatting with you, Saintess. We should talk more often. With those words, he walks out of the chapel without sparing me another glance. How curious. In a sense, I do know more about Elijah now. Yet I also realize just how much more I might need to learn so I can figure out why I feel an attraction towards him. I shake my head. I've got training to do. I return to the training grounds. Levi hasn't noticed my absence. I'm glad. I didn't want to worry him. I take the golden bow in my hand and stare it down. You're not going to win against me. I knock an arrow in the bow again and aim. I continue training until I tire myself out. You just remember, how does Celeste know the language when the original novel was in Korean? Well, I'm guessing that's a skill she picked up from the original Celeste. The next day comes, and I realise it's time for Duchess Penelope's tea party. I almost want to pretend I've forgotten about the occasion, especially when Eurydice and Linda waltz into my room to get me ready for the outing. The tea party is a more informal affair than a ball or an audience with the Empress, so I opt for a more modest dress. We arrive at the Royal Gardens just in time for the event. Tables are set up and laden with so many kinds of colourful cakes that my mouth waters. If only I wasn't a noble lady. I'm supposed to mind my manners and eat daintily, otherwise I would have taken a full cake of each flavour all to myself. Considering how physically demanding archery training was, I could use some extra calories anyway. That's Duchess Penelope. Let's approach and greet her. Eurydice points to the lady whose long purple hair is adorned with a butterfly pin. While preparing me for the party with Linda, Eurydice made sure to drill information about the Duchess into me. Lady Penelope's family had a lot of land as well as a large palace in the countryside, surrounded by beautiful gardens. Supposedly, there are a lot of butterflies flying around. Eurydice has been to the Ventus Mansion a few times as part of Duchess Letitia's entourage. Although Penelope is only in her late 20s, she's one of the most important players in the politics of the Lokari Empire. Her influence is second only to Duke George's. Duchess Letitia has a huge following of nobles as well. To be precise, Penelope and George are the leaders of two powerful opposing political factions. Duchess Letitia has her own following and doesn't engage with the two of them often. The war is nothing. It's so far away and doesn't concern those of us who are in the capital. Why should we worry about something that will never bother us? You're right, Lady Penelope. Are the demons even real? I hold back a long sigh. Duchess Penelope is the leader of the faction that believes less money should be spent on the war against the Demon Queen. I didn't realise until now that her beliefs were this stupid. Meanwhile, Duke George believes the Empress should engage more directly in the war. He'd also like that more money be invested in technological research so that the army can be better equipped to fight fiends. In his opinion, the Empire needs to be ready to stand its ground until the Saint emerges. So, now I've been chosen as the Saintess, the army only has to hold the front line until I can defeat the Demon Queen. I side firmly with George's beliefs. He isn't here today, though. This tea party seems to be a women-only event. Even if it wasn't, though, I doubt Penelope would have invited her nemesis to her private gathering. I mean, have any of us even seen a demon? What if they're really nothing more than a myth? The Barwood refugees beg to differ. Eurydice gives me a look, clearly telling me to hold back my comments. Yet I can't stand by and listen to the Duchess's stupidity any longer. I have, you know. What? I've seen a demon. Penelope looks between me and Eurydice. Her cruel smile from the night of the ball returns, and my blood freezes in my veins. Well, if it isn't the daughters of Count Decaries, Eurydice and the Saintess, Celeste, was it? Oh, she knows very well who I am. I bet the whole court has been gossiping about me ever since I got chosen to be the Saintess. That's right. Hello, Lady Penelope. Thank you for inviting us to your tea party. I thought it would be entertaining if we got to talk to the Saintess, considering her reputation. So tell me, Lady Celeste, did you really kill a demon? I was right. Gossip really has been spreading about me. Yes, that's true. The whole gathering of noble ladies lets out shocked gasps. She couldn't have! That's so savage! I bite my lip. I should have expected such a reaction. I'm far from the norm when it comes to acting like a noble lady. Why did I agree to come here? Now, it's not like Lady Celeste could control the fact that a demon attacked her. She merely acted in self-defense. By killing the imp by herself, she saved her own life. I turn around, giving the lady who spoke up a grateful look. She has long braided orange hair and a kind smile, such as Letitia. Still, being attacked by a demon! It's not something she could control. Right. Lady Penelope huffs. She walks over to one of the cake tables. When she turns around again, she claps her hands and has a smile on her face that could almost be considered pleasant. Let's get the tea party started. I am so looking forward to the shortcake. The atmosphere changes instantly. Excited chatter ensues as the ladies make their way over to the cake, taking a little bit onto each of their plates. Servants are nearby, but we're supposed to choose cakes for ourselves today. Eurydice sits down with Lady Letitia's entourage. I'm not sure where I should sit. I don't recognise anybody else except my sister and her favourite lady. Sit down with us. I nod, relief washing over me. I take the seat next to Eurydice. There's one more free seat next to me, but nobody takes it. Amongst small talk, we dig into the cake. Thankfully, I know the proper way to eat sweets, so I don't embarrass myself this time. The talk at Duchess Letitia's table is more pleasant than any conversation with Lady Penelope. I relax. At some point, Lady Letitia gives me a pointed look. You really should be more careful about what you're saying, Lady Celeste, for your own good. But what Duchess Penelope said was just stupid. The other ladies give me startled looks. Letitia lets out a long sigh. That's what I'm talking about. It's fine to have your own opinion. No one will force you to agree with her. But you're the Saintess now, an important person in the political climate of the Lokari Empire. You may not feel like your role has changed, especially since your reputation still follows you. However, people are listening carefully to everything you say or do. You're a public figure now. I bite my lip and look away, embarrassed. I'm sorry that I'm so inadequate. Duchess Penelope doesn't believe the war is important. Duke George has the opposite opinion. If you wish, you may formally join the side of either of them, or you may choose to stay politically neutral like I am. You're focused on the quest to defeat the Demon Queen now, but a time will come when you'll return from your journey and you will still be the Saintess. Yeah, but the war will be over by then, right? So does it matter which faction we're on in that regard? Think carefully about what you want to do. Right. It may be that the demon army will disperse once their leader is slain, or we may have to fight the remaining demon hordes for decades to come. The debate between Penelope and George may become unimportant, or it may grow to be the most heated topic in the court. Be mindful of what impact your words have and choose them wisely. Thank you for your advice. The Duchess has really given me something to think about for the future. I've been so focused on my training that I haven't thoroughly considered the politics of my situation. Lady Letitia is right, though. The Saintess is more than just a tool to end the war. And I'll think carefully about what you said. Who's this gonna be? Another lady, maybe? Or it could be the prince again, I guess. Let's go. What's with the long faces? Okay, I think it is the prince. So what's with the long faces? Someone slides into the seat next to me. A man. What's a man doing at an all-girls party? I turn around to see Noah sitting next to me with a wide grin on his face. Noah, what are you doing here? I was taking a break from work and decided to go for a walk in the gardens. I saw you having a fun tea party, so I figured I'd crash it. Just like that, you figured you'd crash it? Perks of being the crown prince? I glare at Noah. He chuckles. This table is talking about such serious matters, though. Why don't you ladies enjoy yourselves more? Especially you, Celeste. I hear you're training really hard. I am. That's good. I like women who know their way around weapons. I blush at the implication of what Noah just said. He's flirting with me again, making me embarrassed. And this time he's doing it in front of a table full of wide-eyed noblewomen. Noah! I give the prince a serious look. Why are you teasing me so much? My words startle him. Why? Please stop flirting with me. It's really bothering me. You're sending the wrong signals, acting like you're really interested in me. You don't know me enough to be so casual with me. I shouldn't be this casual with him either. But his words set the tone for this exchange, and now I can't hold back the bite from my voice. What if I have a good reason for flirting with you? Oh, so he agrees he's been flirting with me this whole time? What good reason? I rather enjoy seeing you both blushing and mad. You're a great distraction from organising the party for our quest. Besides, you know I can be serious when needed. He's referring to when we worked together to resolve the refugee situation. I can't help but feel mad regardless. I don't want to be your distraction. Please stop teasing me. Noah throws his head back and laughs. There you are, getting all mad and flustered again. That shade of blushing pink looks lovely on your face. Noah! Prince Noah, this is supposed to be a women-only tea party. Duchess Penelope approaches us with a frown on her face. I've had my fill of Celeste's expressions anyway, so I'll be going. Noah, people will get the wrong idea. Have you ever seen me care what the court says about me? I hadn't. They called him the Mad Prince, though, and he really was living up to his name right now. Bye, Celeste. Good luck on the training. Goodbye, ladies. The cake was excellent. He managed to snag a bite of cake during our conversation, and now he loads a bunch of cakes onto a plate before finally walking off. Yeah, benefits of being the crown prince. Walk in, steal a bunch of cakes. I wish I could act with so much freedom. Yet Lady Letitia just told me I can't act how Noah does. A shame, really. That was, let's continue the tea party. The rest of the party is uneventful, if a bit boring. However, considering how hard I've worked the past week, I appreciate just being able to just sit down and take part in light conversation. Yeah, right, Dre? Ah, food. And now I must go. The best way to enjoy a formal tea party, really. Eurydice was right about this outing being good for me. I avoid interacting with Lady Penelope and her entourage for the rest of the party, sticking with Letitia and her ladies instead. I don't embarrass myself any further. A few days later, after countless failed attempts at accessing the Golden Bow's map, actually, I really wanted to push through and get all of this done tonight, but my throat is not cooperating, and I think I am actually going to have to stop and finish up the rest at some other point. Which is kind of annoying because I'm probably really close to the end of it now. But I'm not sure my voice is going to hold out. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to call it here. So, thank you very much for coming. It's been fun. And if this has piqued your interest in this game, please consider looking at the Kickstarter, which is linked in the description box below. It's going for another just under a week now, I think. Yeah, check that out if you're interested. Also, in the description box, you will find my social media links if you want to follow me over there. The streaming schedule is both over there on social media and over here on YouTube in the posts section of this channel. The next scheduled stream is Wednesday, 7 PM for some more Charade Maniacs. And I hope to see you then or another time. And I'll have to figure out when to finish up this demo. I may have to add in another stream or something. But yes. Anyway, once again, thank you very much for coming. And this is Kalla signing out. See ya, bye bye.